Kid, mind if I take a swig of milk?
Knock yourself out.
Ulcers. All I do these days is drink fucking milk.
My heart bleeds.
Yeah, well, so do my ulcers, you punk bastard. What the goddamn hell's this about? There's easier ways to commit suicide, you
There's
know.
a dead man downstairs who found a harder way.
Louis? If you killed Louis, so help me.
Campagna's okay. He'll have a headache to make a hangover seem like Christmas, but he's okay. Fatso, too.
Then who?
A blonde guy. I don't know his name, but I've seen him around.
Have you?
Last time was at Bayfront Park when you sent him to help kill Cermak. Time before that, I saw him running down Randolph Street when Capone sent him to kill Jake Lingle. And tonight, you sent him to kill Nate Heller. But he didn't quite get the job done, did he?
You're wrong on that last count, kid. Dead wrong.
Then you sent that son of a bitch to Florida just to catch some sun?
I didn't say I didn't send him to Florida. What I do say is I didn't send him to kill you.
He pushed me off a skyride tower tonight, Frank. And you know I really don't like heights. I should be a twisted sack of bones and meat on a morgue tray about now, but somehow I'm not. I'm here. He's dead, and so are you. So are you, Nitty. I wish to Christ Lang had killed you that afternoon. I wish to Christ I didn't make them call an ambulance for you.
Heller, I didn't send him. I didn't even know the bastard was in town. He doesn't work for me.
He doesn't work for anybody now.
Something you aren't at all aware of. Why am I not already dead?
The silenced automatic in my hand raised to aim itself at his forehead.
You are dead. Fuck you.
Wait, just wait. Lower that goddamn thing, will you? Just hear me out. I didn't say he never done work for me. He's a guy Johnny Torrio recommended to Al back on the Lingle deal. I used him later myself. Used him now and then on ticklish matters.
Oh, is that what I am? A ticklish matter?
Kid, I know how you feel. I know the kind of emotions you got running wild in you. I know all there is to know about revenge. You could ask 10% Tony if he wasn't in hell. But I didn't hire a contract on you. I swear by all that's holy.
And I'm supposed to believe that because of all the Catholic shit on the walls? Who sent him then, Frank?
I don't know the answer to that. Not for sure. But I can figure it out, and so can you, if you try.
I was getting confused, starting to wonder what the hell I was doing.
Hey, let's get media. Nope, let's get physical media. Okay, that's a funny name. Okay, I'm Breck. I directed The Crazies, and I'm really excited that we're coming to physical media with a new HDR transfer this spring. Check it out. All right. Hey, let's get physical media. I'm so glad there are fans of actually buying DVDs out there. I'm really excited that Crazies will be coming with a new HDR transfer to physical media, to 4K and HDR, ready to show you guys. So check it out. That was terrible. Hey, let's get physical media. So happy that there are fans of the Crazies out there and fans that are going to buy the physical disc. We're doing a new HDR transfer, which I'm thrilled to be putting out there, and hope you guys will check it out.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. And you know, for all of you who tune into this show, you probably thought you spent the last week thinking, you know what, Max Allan Collins is a fantastic author, an amazing talent, and a great on-screen presence. But I got letters from you people thinking that, oh, the show's over. Just because I have a great guest that I've been working with and respect. Because what? I'll tell you what, because your favorite German was gone, AWOL, out of here. He didn't even leave his country because it was falling apart the way ours is. Who knows where he was? We don't know. But I assure you, I would never let this show fall on its ass, because it's not a show without your favorite German, my favorite German, coming to us all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Welcome back.
Rob, thank you. What an intro. And as Jerry Seinfeld says, you gotta give people the chance to miss you a little. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. I am Rock Like Erican, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media, where we'll be adding the BBC a little bit later. And Rob, let me just start by saying,
The BBC.
I know you.
You've added that wing that we built to the motel. The Collins wing.
Exactly. You're sitting there on your ivory observatory tower, snickering at my recommendations. But let me tell you something, Barbie boy. This one, The Invisible Raptor, would have entertained you way more than you, I go to the screen unseen, I need to see that new Jurassic World movie. It will blow my mind. And I had a good time listening to you and the bad Canadian kid rip that movie to shreds while I enjoy The Invisible Raptor. Just saying, Rob. Just saying. Because what was the first text that the movie showed you in that movie? What did it say, Rob? You're not in awe of dinosaurs anymore. Exactly. And that's how I feel about this franchise, But The Invisible Raptor, Rob, that would entertain you.
Are you telling me that The Invisible Raptor is full of awe and wonder?
Perhaps not that, but it will entertain you. And I heard not good things about Jurassic World Rebirth from you and JC, And I was already on the fence about seeing it, but you destroyed the movie, and I said, okay, I'm fine with not seeing it in the theater.
Well, damn it.
It was a glorious review, Rob. It was a glorious review.
I take
totally
no
enjoyed
pleasure in disliking a film, especially a film that has one job. Give me dinosaurs.
Correct.
That's it. That's all it has to do. But, if somebody is giving me a movie that's telling me that dinosaurs should not fill me with... The people are bored of dinosaurs. Not only that, they retcon all this bullshit and they're like, well, dinosaurs can't breathe enough, so they've all been... They only exist in the equatorial zones on the Earth now. The whole point of this franchise, as the second one told you, is that we want to see vampires. We want to see dinosaurs. We want to see dinosaurs rampaging in urban areas. That was the entire promise of the Jurassic Park idea that Michael Crichton, he knew that ever since we're little kids, what do little kids first? One of the first things we do is somebody gives us a dinosaur and we're eating people. That's what we do. It's built into our DNA. And if you have dinosaurs, you want them in urban areas eating lots of people. That is the assignment. Not relegating them to a third island. Not Isla Sorna, not Isla Nublar. Now there's some fucking island, I don't even remember the name of it. Some frog name from France. I don't know. And I'm supposed to care? Oh, this is the island where we really developed the dinosaurs. And this is the island where the dinosaurs that were too mean. They're mutant dinosaurs. By the way, you know what they do at the beginning of this movie? They show you the skeleton of this gigantic space seafaring dinosaur with a huge mouth. Gigantic. And so what does our crack team of intelligent mercenaries do? They take a boat to this island. They take a boat. They tell you full well, there's these giant fucking whale-sized dinosaurs, and we're going to take not a big boat. We're going to take a boat that is decidedly smaller than the dinosaur skeleton that they've already shown us at the beginning of the movie. These are not smart people. Even the hunter, even Vincent D'Onofrio was smarter in Jurassic World. And I love ScarJo and I love Mahershala Ali. But they don't even try and instill you with a sense of disbelief that this mission might work. This might be the one time that they send an army down to do this job. Actually, it's not really an army. It's like 6 people. And not only that, can I just say there's not enough. You know that there's not enough human food on this boat to make this movie entertaining. So 50 minutes into the movie, I kid you not, you're following these characters and their plight. 50 minutes in the movie, it cuts to the middle of the ocean. And you find this little tiny sailboat. And the Hispanic actor that plays the Lincoln lawyer, he's like the dad, and he's got his 2 daughters and his oldest daughter's layabout boyfriend, who's apparently on a little sailboat, and he's been sleeping until 6 o'clock at night. And they tell you that, oh yeah, we're sailing in this little sailboat. We're sailing across the Atlantic to Cape Town, South Africa. Now, you don't know where they came from. You just cut to the middle of the ocean, so it could have been anywhere. But of course, knowing what we know, they're in the equatorial zone. So what do you think's going to happen to them? Spoiler alert, within a couple of minutes of these new rando people being introduced, guess what befalls them? And I'm looking at this going, who wrote this script? ChatGPT would have introduced these characters in the beginning of the movie, but not in this fucking film. And by the way, there's been no dinosaur. The only dinosaur you've seen in this movie up to this point is the one brontosaurus that escaped from the New York Zoo. And this poor motherfucker is caught under a bridge in the middle of New York traffic, and nobody seems to care. You know, if I saw, as John pointed out, if you saw an elephant right now in front of your house on the side of the road, you'd go out and gawk at it. How did this elephant get here? You know what an elephant is. You've been to the zoo since you were a little kid. Yeah. You never would be disinterested in an elephant walking down your street. But apparently New Yorkers are so fucking jaded that a giant brontosaurus stuck under a bridge, this poor fucking dinosaur, nope. People are like, I can't get to work.
and I loved how JC said what I do, Rob, with my slasher movies. Like you said already, Rob, only 6 people to kill for how many minutes left? That's too few, you know. I always do that with a slasher movie too. But we will get to Jurassic World Rebirth next week when it will be starting at the theater.
Don't get me wrong. I hope it makes a lot of money. No. It's never, you know, it's a genre film. Bulletproof
franchise, Rob. I would say it will make some dough.
It's going to make a lot of money because nobody cares what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
But we'll go into Jurassic World a little bit next week with the box office because we have another movie that actually came out.
And did you see it?
Which, Rob, I saw it, of course. And we're talking, of course, about F1, Formula 1. For me, Rob, fine movie, good movie, enjoyed it, but I'm not, as the other people, it's a masterpiece or something like that. Brad Pitt plays the Qui-Gon Jinn of motorsport, and while the story is pretty formulaic, it's always about the packaging, and this is a total love letter for Formula One fans. If you're not hammering on details, you know, it's a total love letter for Formula One. And I remembered, Rob, I haven't watched Formula One in forever. You know, I watched back in the day.
You work for a car company. You manufacture transmissions.
Yeah, correct, Rob. But I watched Formula One when I was in my teenager years, but I haven't seen a race in forever. So I actually was thinking what I was expecting from the movie because it delivers what is on the package, Formula One. You know, and you can see why the movie actually cost a little bit penny to get all this
it looks
footage.
Spectacular.
And I wasn't actually a big fan of the character that Brad Pitt and how he played it and how he did his racing stuff, you know, a little bit like you said, like a combat driver.
He was kind of a dick.
Exactly, Rob. Because if the Pierce one, you know, kicked him out, he was, what are you doing? You know? And I thought, hey, you did the same thing. You damn stupid driver. For me, it was fine, totally fine. What killed it a little bit for me was actually, Rob, the German dubbing. I watched it in German because there was a lot of commentating, which gave me a little bit too much of a TV feeling, actually. And I hope the English commentators will be a lot better than the German ones when I will obviously buy it. But you saw it too, Rob, and I think you pretty much enjoyed it.
I loved it. I loved it. As I now in my head canon, this movie's called Fuck Yeah 1. So I
Miele said he didn't like how it ended actually, but this is actually a pretty faithful ending how sometimes a Formula One race is ending.
Yes.
To get into shenanigans, and you know, the third one, bye, you know, it's really pretty faithful.
Yeah, no,
the sport.
I grew up collecting die-cast European Formula One cars from Corgi and Dinky.
Yeah.
And my favorite was this John Player Special Lotus Formula One car.
Exactly, Rob. And it was great because the design of the APX was a little bit like that Lotus Player.
Dude,
the gold,
the gold and the black, they did that for me.
like, yeah.
I knew that because
exactly.
that's a very, 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 very famous car. And when I saw that,
totally.
It was like being a
John Player
kid
logo.
again. I used to love watching the John Player Special thing. I loved it so much. And yeah, that was the greatest thing ever. And look, like you said, it's straightforward. I loved it. It was beautifully shot. You know, they bought actual F2 cars and rebuilt them with the cameras inside the cars. The driving footage was amazing. Everybody looked fabulous. I loved all of it. I loved Javier Bardem.
It was almost, for me, it was almost too grounded for me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if
that makes any sense, Rob. You
no,
know?
it had peak verisimilitude. You know, it was.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I love the way it was shot. I just love the whole thing. And it's another, by the way, non-franchise original film, #1 at the box office around the world. It's a win for Apple. You know, Apple released this through Warner Brothers. It's great for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, Minecraft, almost $1 billion. Sinners is one of the #1 highest grossing original grossing. Pardon me, one of the original films that grossed the most money that isn't a sequel or an IP. They had that come out. They had Final Destination Bloodlines come out, which is the top of the franchise. And in July, or in June, now they have F1, which is the #1 movie, original film, not a franchise. They picked it up for distribution. Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca are killing it over at Warner Brothers. And the box office, let me give you the international box office, because F1 is the internet.
Because I would think that the international is even higher, considering how big Formula One is.
Yeah, and also, you know, one of the winningest F1 drivers, Lewis Hamilton, who's a producer on this movie. Yeah, and he was at the end. I think he was the third racer at the end of the movie, playing himself.
Correct, Rob.
Yeah,
Correct.
so he's playing himself.
Correct.
And Lewis Hamilton tweeting out, you know, F1 movie is in theaters. Big thanks to Tim Cook, who runs Apple, and the Apple team for helping us get at this moment. This is so here's the global launch. We got it's all good news at the box office, which means it's good news for the industry. So Nancy Tartaglione from Deadline brings us this info. The numbers for international grosses are it doesn't have the listing. Let me I guess I'll just have to read the article because she doesn't just have a chart here. Apple Original Films F1 has raced to $144 million global for its launch, including $88.4 million from 78 international box office markets. So that's obviously more than domestic. The start for the Brad Pitt star are higher than projected coming into the weekend and mark the biggest opening to date for an Apple title. In 74 of the 78 overseas markets, the Kaczynski-directed Formula One movie was #1. And it was #1 in like-for-likes, and at today's exchange rates, F1 is currently tracking on par with Gladiator 2, 18% ahead of World War Z, 34% over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 58% bigger than Bad Boys Ride or Die, and 152% above Bullet Train. And this is amazing. And also, we got to give, as it says right here, let's first give a zombie huzzah to Danny Boyle and Sony's 28 Years Later, which crossed the $100 million mark globally to become the biggest grosser of the franchise. The film added another $13.7 million from 63 overseas markets. Maybe they'll greenlight the third one because the Bone Temple is already filmed. And then we'll go to the domestic box office. So F1, big hit, and 28 Years Later also doing well. At our domestic box office here in the U.S., F1 was #1. It made domestic $55.6 million. Again, for an original film, doing great. #2, the Roy Lee executive produced How to Train Your Dragon, put another $19.4 million in the coffers, and it reaches 200 million domestic. Elio, an anemic Pixar movie. I feel bad for Pixar, but the movie didn't seem that interesting to me. 10.7 million. It's made a total of 52.2 million. Coming in at number 4, Megan 2.0. Kind of a disappointment. Only bringing in 10.2 million. Hey, you can go from the haunted house movie in space of Aliens to a combat film or an Alien to a combat film in Aliens, but maybe turning Megan 2.0 into Terminator Aliens might not have been the greatest thing in the world. 28 years later, has now made 50 million domestic. Lilo and Stitch is up to 400 million domestic. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is domestically at 186 million. The Materialists is at 30.4 million, which is good for Celine Song in a movie like this, I guess. Ballerina, a softer, film, but 55.4 million domestic. Karate Kid Legends is at 51.5 million domestic, and Final Destination: Bloodlines is at 136.6 million domestic.
Still in the top 10, Rob. Final Destination.
Still in the top 10. People love, and they've put it out.
Unbelievable.
You can watch the entire opening scene at the Space Needle, which is hilarious. I think I've watched it 3 times online. It's on YouTube. Even though that doesn't look anything like the Space Needle in real life, I still love that opening scene. It's fantastic. So there you go, buddy. That is
nice.
That's
just quick, Rob, because I wasn't there last week, so we could talk about 28 years later, just a little bit. I totally, like you even loved it. I totally enjoyed the movie, and I had no problems, Rob, with the ending, because for me, it's always good if you have an ending that you won't forget, because there's a lot of movies, Rob, where I remember individual scenes, but I always think, wait, how did the movie end? But this ending, you certainly won't forget, because it told us one thing: Teletubbies are not a replacement for good parenting. Just saying. But I had a good time. Really looking forward how they will continue. Like you said, it is a movie with 2 halves, more like a rite of passage and then like a coming of age, I would say.
Yeah.
So very, very cool thing. And I went back, Rob, to watch 28 Weeks Later, which came out on Blu-ray pretty early on, I think, because it was from 2007. And it was one of those movies where Rose Byrne is in it, Jeremy Renner, but all the hoopla in between, I totally forgot, but it was a great time again to see that movie 2. So 28 Weeks Later is good too, in my book, And I will be totally looking forward, how will they do with Bone Temple? How will the story evolve? Then just quick, I finished Poker Face Season 2, which was a little bit more up and down considering the individual episodes. The first season was a little bit more quality-wise, for me, a little bit higher. So you have great episodes, mediocre, but some bad ones too. Okay, Rob.
This would be the time that I have to point out, of course, that Poker Face, one of the producers of Poker Face, is Adam Arkin. And, of course, Adam Arkin plays John Beam in True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak, written by Mystery Writers of America Grandmaster Max Allan Collins, the director of Death by Fruitcake and Blue Christmas, which is available now on physical media. And you might hear from him later. Who's to say? Max Allan Collins might have something to say, but I can tell you that the man who made Poker Face is in. Adam Arkin is Alan Arkin's, of course, son, and he is equally talented. He's a director on that show, so hey. Now, I watched something this week that I was not on my radar that blew me away. So, I don't know if you heard me. So, I don't know why. I was reading about this. It was a YouTube video that popped up in my feed that said one of the great villains, one of the most evil villains of all time, from this Japanese animation that I'd vaguely heard of, that I'd never seen, called Monster. Monster is.
I heard you talk about it, and I was thinking about how did he stumble across now that.
That's how people don't understand. Like even I did I've had some controversy in the last Raw Observations I did, because I think it was kind of a bait and switch, but I read these 2 articles that kind of were combined about, America and things like that. But so this thing shows up, and you can't not watch a video that says one of the great villains of all time. So I watch this video. This anime monster is from 2004. Okay. So I went and watched all 74 episodes of it. Now it's kind of a slow burn, and I did not know where it was going. Okay. I knew the plot. I knew the plot was about this Japanese doctor who, by the way, it's set in Germany, lives in Germany, but the whole thing's in Japanese. And I'm watching this, and I watched like 11 episodes. And I'm like, okay, where's this going? And then it just got bonkers, and I loved it. So I was like, well, who are these people that made this? And then it led me to another show. Now, Monster's great, but it was really, really good. I really liked it. And I know Japanese animation is not everybody's cup of tea.
Where is it available, Rob?
It's on Netflix. Monster's on Netflix.
Okay.
And so is this other show. This other show, 2023. And I'm reading about it. Same author, came from a manga. And it was talking about how it was like a prequel to Astro Boy, and based on this. Ooh, dude, okay. It's one of the this is no hyperbole. It's one of the best science fiction things that I have watched in a long time. It's only 8 episodes, each one's an hour long, and it's called Pluto. And it takes place. It takes place in the future, where robots There are robots and artificial intelligence and there's human-looking robots, and there's very inhuman-looking robots, and there's like 8 robots that are the most powerful AIs on the planet, and one of them, this character who like is this robot that's a conservationist robot that like lives in the Alps, that takes care of that. He's a total environmentalist. He's the hero. He fought in this war. He's a hero of the people. Everyone loves him. One day, somebody murders this robot, blows it up, destroys it, and poses the robot corpse and a human being also, in a very ritualistic way. And this hard-boiled detective, this strapping blonde who comes from the European, he's a detective that works for the European Crime Agency, shows up, and it turns out he too is a robot. Like he's like a Blade Runner. He's like Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
And he's on the case. And that's how it starts. It is by the end of episode 1, I swear to God, I cried. I
will put that in my watch list.
It is one of the finest. First of all, it's literally a murder mystery. It might
always
be
there for you.
There's even a fucking Hannibal Lecter robot that's locked away in this asylum. There's so much great stuff in this, and it works on so many different levels. And it's a prequel to Astro Boy. I mean, all I can say, it's one of the greatest science fiction things that I've read. And it's also a hard-boiled mystery story, a murder mystery story. I mean, it reminds me of Max Allan Collins. If Max Allan Collins wrote a murder mystery science fiction story about robots 100 or 150 years in the future, in what looks like Akira cities, like everything looks like Neo-Tokyo, and this is a worldwide it's a globe-trotting story, I was fucking riveted. And even if you don't love anime, I mean, this is hard-boiled, it's very realistic, very naturalistic. The animation's incredible. I don't want to oversell it, but Pluto, that's the stuff.
Okay. Or perhaps it could be more of a thing for Max's son, who's more knowledgeable about
Max's son, not his grandson, but his son Nathan.
Yeah.
By the way, Nathan Collins is, of course, the name. Nathan is the name of our lead character, played by Michael Rosenbaum in True Noir: The Assassination of Anton Cermak. It all goes back to Max Allan Collins on this show. I mean, it all goes back to you, to be fair. But then we now have we have a new wing that was constructed in the B&B Motel.
Yeah. The C.
The C.
Correct.
So you go over, and the thing is, it's scary. That's the scary part of the motel. All the shit goes down. People get murdered in their rooms over in that part. That's where all the exciting stuff happens. People are having sex over there. our side of the motel, we're just in our home theaters watching movies all the time.
We are the PG-13 wing, Rob.
Yeah, Max Allen Collins is the hard R, especially when you're doing audio dramas with Katie Sackhoff. But anyway.
So, Rob, yeah. Physical media. Who starts?
Well, I'll tell you. You want to start? Go ahead.
Okay. Rob, stuff that you probably already showed last week. As far as I remember, I got the 212 from Kino Lorber. I got Road Trip, the 4K and the Blu-ray, and
nice. I really like Peacemaker.
Yeah, me too, Rob. But I haven't seen it in forever, so I'm really looking forward to give it a new rewatch, new reevaluation. And I was always a fan of this one with Scott Bakula from Shout Select, sort of Illusions.
By the way, that's in the top 10 of the sales charts.
Ooh.
And I, this is, of course,
just a 4K.
This was the third and last movie that Clive Barker directed. It's based on speaking of hard-boiled detectives, his mystical hard-boiled detective, Harry D'Amour. That I love the Harry D'Amour character. Scott Bakula plays Harry D'Amour. And I like Lord of Illusions. It's kind of a Baroque movie. I mean, the plot is it's very interesting. Yeah. And the director's cut, I think, is far superior to the theatrical.
Yeah, it is the director's cut. Right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I don't think it has even this.
No, the director's cut's way better. It's like it's the Kingdom of Heaven of Clive Barker movies.
Yeah, correct. And in all honesty, why I wasn't last week on the show was simply too hot, and I wanted to watch a movie.
Are you kidding? That's not a good excuse. Yeah. That's why you let me down?
Yeah, that's not an excuse.
Thank God I have friends like Max Allen Collins, who is a grandmaster according to the Mystery Writers of America. He pinch hits for you. Because you want to watch a movie?
Yeah, exactly. Because
that's
I wanted
some fucking
to watch
bullshit.
Kingdom of Heaven.
That's it's an incredible disc, though. Incredible disc.
Totally, with a bonus disc and Blu-ray, and totally had a blast to see that movie again when Ridley still did 10 out of 10 movies. Still looks great. The insane amount of people who have done that. Kingdom of Heaven, awesome. But I should have gone back because Kingdom of Heaven was my first Blu-ray that I purchased, I believe. I should just give it a look, how the quality-wise, how that first Blu-ray actually holds up. So Kingdom of Heaven, the Steelbook. This one, I need to go to IMDb a little bit later up because I don't know actually the English title. I will have to look that up. This one, strange how Lionsgate Limited is sometimes have limited editions or exclusives to Amazon, I believe. So I got the Air America one, Rob. I think you showed it.
Oh yeah, I got to get that, but you got that that's an Amazon exclusive. They have another one coming up too.
Yeah, exactly. So really nice. On the inside too, our two leads. You see, Max, I have the same problem as you, showing that correctly. So I got the Air America Steelbook, and then really looking forward to seeing this movie. It was the Academy Award winner this year for Best International Feature, but I have not seen I'm Still Here. Good things about it, but I haven't seen it. Into it, not the 4K, just a Blu-ray. And then, since I was 2 weeks away, I have a lot of stuff to show. I don't know if you have shown this, Rob, last week, the Criterion Collection of Sorcerer.
No, bro, I don't own that yet, although I will be owning it shortly because the Barnes & Noble sale went on yesterday. And I'll tell you, I put everything in my
shopping.
Yeah, and I looked at it, and I clearly have a problem. The amount of stuff in my shopping cart, even 50% off, I could buy a few 8-balls and have a really great night. But no, I'm going to buy physical media.
So we have 3 discs, 4K Blu-ray, and I think a bonus disc. And of course it comes with a booklet. I don't know if this is a fold-out again. Yeah. As we knew from Criterion. Always nice fold-out booklets. So you can just put it back. So this is a Digi pack.
One of the greatest, I think Sorcerer is one of the great films of the 70s. It's, of course, one of William Friedkin's crowning achievements. So if you're like, some of our friends that won't watch To Live and Die in L.A., and I've brought Max Allen Collins came around on this, but there's other people that watch this show that, I will leave them unnamed. But if you don't like To Live and Die in L.A., Sorcerer is the stuff.
Yeah. Correct. Rob, from TF, the English company, or no, the American company, because cat in the back, Rob, but it says banned in the UK. That's always get me. Wait, what? Video nasty, perhaps? But I don't know actually from when this movie is. It's a newer one, it seems. The movie is called Reality Killer. Comes with a different. Now we get demonetized again.
Demonetized.
Different artwork, and it even has. You could actually switch it to another one. Actually, so you actually have 3 options, and it has a booklet too. But this is a cat in the back. It says here, missing Metropolitan Police. I have no idea, but it's banned, It's banned in UK. Oh! It's banned in the UK. So we're looking forward. Why, perhaps it is. I need to go to the BBFC. What they are telling me, why it is banned. And of course, a lot of people will probably have this on the radar for watching next weekend. I got a steel rope for Jaws.
Nice. I gotta get that.
Yeah, it looks great. And we got 3 discs because that newer documentary is on there too. So we got the 4K, the Blu-ray, and the special features. No swimming, also this area, shores. This is my first haul, Rob. First haul.
Well, I know a lot of people were worried about the sorry state of affairs in my physical media. There was a hole in my life, a hole in my heart that I filled. Filling the hole is important. That's what the girls tell me. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I filled my hole.
Ooh. You got it, Rob.
I did get this, and I didn't have to, it didn't hurt too much. This is, of course, the Sean Connery collection. Max has talked about this. Bill Hunt has been reviewing it. Yeah. You got yours as well. You haven't even opened it.
Because, Rob, I wanted to wait. I still have it on another pre-order from France. And the European ones come with Blu-rays too. I don't know if the Blu-rays come from the 4K Masters. And so I still contemplating, if I open it or keep it sealed until the French one comes in and then decide which one to keep, So I hope you have opened it, Rob. So
I have.
Can show.
I've opened it. Now there's some controversy. There's
I leave
a lot.
Mine unopened.
Now I gotta say, I there's some controversy about these in the sense that people did not like the covers. They didn't love the covers. I love all the Robert McGinnis, James Bond movie posters. I love them. But I have so much. I owned all the Bond movies on videotape, on VHS. I owned on Her Majesty's Secret Service on RCA CED disc because it was the only way you could get it at first. Then I ordered all the Bond movies. I had all the Bond movies on Laserdisc. And then I bought them again when they were letterboxed on Laserdisc. And then I bought them on DVD. And then I bought them on Blu-ray. And now, at the end of the road, so I've had every iteration in every video format, like Star Wars. I probably bought James Bond movies more. And I have to say that I know we make fun of Warner Brothers or whatever. I love these covers. I love these covers because they really picked iconic. Somebody unlike the fucking Lost Boys or Poltergeist covers, whoever went with these, I thought this is a bold choice. You know, and you have both on the front and on the back. These are iconic.
And Thomas Logan wanted me to tell him about my limited number. Rob, what is yours? It is actually should be in the Dr. No Steelbook.
Oh,
it should be in the Dr. No Steelbook.
I didn't open it up. I got the digital. Hold on.
Which there's
okay, there's a book. Yeah, there's the booklet in here. Let's see. I will tell you. First of all, yeah, you get a little envelope. Here's a little envelope, and you open it up because it is a limited edition. Certificate of Authenticity. The 007 6-film collection. The Sean Connery is the quintessential James Bond. This is number 3,550 of 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3,000. I don't care. I'm never going to part with this. Maybe my next of kin will figure out what they can do with this. For me, it's not going anywhere. But now, there's also been... Look, I think there's a lot of misinformation. People really have to understand video transfers. They have to understand how the format works. The first one of these...
Happy again?
Is anyone ever happy these days? All these whippersnapper kids that don't know fuck all. But I started out from Rush with Love. Iconic pictures of Sean Connery as Bond. I love these because they feel like they're from the 1960s, which they are. Yeah. Everyone's talking about, I want to see a period Bond film done in the 60s. Well, motherfucker, they did 6. I mean, I don't know. What are you talking about? I don't want to go see a faux 60s Bond movie. I mean, I don't. I want to, Bond has always been contemporary. They've become period. But I really like all these. I really like all of these covers, and they're all iconic.
And it was nice, Rob, that they were separately, or the whole box was separately packaged.
Oh, dude, this box is dope. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. I got to tell you, this gets me excited, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this box set. I was very worried that I couldn't get it because it's hard to get, and on Evil Bay the prices are going up. But the transfers look great. I mean, people are talking about, well, there's frozen grain. Well, that can happen because that's a format thing. But I think a lot of people don't really understand what they're looking at. Hold on, let me put this here. But man, I loved it. I'm so happy to have this. Another thing that I bought that was surprising because I actually watched it immediately was Steven Soderbergh's Black Bag with Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender.
On Midnight Metal a little bit.
Yeah, and I just watched this. This is not an action movie. This is more like a drawing room. This is like Death Trap.
Who's the culprit?
Who's the culprit? It's talking. It's people. And I was totally captivated. David Holmes, who scored the Ocean's movies for Soderbergh, does the score, which I loved. I love the performances in this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this film from top to bottom. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I think you showed this already. I Got a Better Man, the Robbie Williams movie.
Oh, nice.
And it's
still haven't gotten around to watch it.
I haven't either, but I've seen the movie, which I really loved. So, great to get this. Something else you showed that I was worried that mine, I'm like, where is mine?
Yeah.
It finally showed up.
No, I didn't show it, Rob. I did get it too this week. I didn't show it, Rob.
Well, mine showed up. I haven't even opened it yet, but it showed up.
But I have mine, Rob. I will show it.
You show it. By the way, that's all I got this week. That's all I got this week. Yeah. I've got a bunch of stuff coming in. Arrow sent me Witness and other things.
Yeah.
By the way, how have you looked at it? Have you looked at the transfer? No, I've heard it's spectacular. Yeah, how great is that?
Yeah. And you could switch it out to another artwork, actually. So we've got the 4K and Blu-ray. And then some postcards here. It's Rufus Sewell. Jennifer, of course. Oh, then it is always nice on the back here. Different stuff, actually, on both sides. And that famous postcard from the movie. And just see, got of course the poster. No feature, mostly the two cover motives, and we've got our production booklet from Arrow. Really looking forward to seeing it, but haven't. Dark City. It came too. For me.
Love the movie. Well, you know what? You've shown yours. I've shown mine. I think it's time that there's somebody else we're going to bring in to pinch hit. Well, he pinched it already. He doesn't have to pinch it. He needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him a fucking introduction anyway. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have with us the great Mystery Writers of America Grandmaster Max Allen Collins, who has, by the way, a book out this week. That's what writers do. They publish books. And he's also about physical media. He's a great friend. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Please welcome. He's not coming from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. He's coming from Iowa. He's coming from where they built if they build things in Iowa, people will come. Or if they write things in Iowa, people will read them. Mr. Max Allen Collins. Max, how are you today?
Well, I'm a little blue because so many people complained that I wasn't Dietz. And one of them was my wife, Barb.
Oh, my God.
At least
it's a lot to live up to.
Knowledge.
So
with knowledge, no?
Yeah,
taste.
She's a woman of wealth and taste, you know?
Not a replacement for Dietz.
No. You're certainly not. But you know what? Like Valeris in Star Trek II said, you can't replace him, you can only succeed him. That's it. And you so did. So, Max, first of all, tell us, you have a book out this week. What book do you have out this week?
I don't know what book I have out this week.
I thought you have a book out this week. You said you have a book out this week.
No, I delivered a book.
Oh, can you talk about it?
I delivered a book. I finished it. It's
does that come out of a bottle? When you deliver a book, does it come out of a bodily orifice?
Well, it used to be really hard to deliver a book because you'd be chasing. I'd be chasing a deadline, and I had to get to FedEx in time to get the book to the editor. Now it's just a click.
Wow.
The book goes, and I don't like that. I like to have the physical manuscript.
Yeah, because we're physical people.
That's right. No, it's a book called, and we're promoting something that's probably 2 years away, but it's a book called Fancy Anders Fighting the Homefront War. And I did a couple of kind of short stories about this character, and it was all written during COVID, except for the last section. And so I came back. This was something I puttered with in COVID. So for the first time since the novel True Detective, I'm submitting a spec manuscript. Every other time I've had a gig.
Well,
and so we'll take a chance.
I'll take a chance on you. I already did, and it worked out really well. And you took a chance on me. And speaking of chances, someone has written a letter that I've saved that was for you. Well, some of it's for you. And I would like to read this letter. And it comes to us from Patrick Simpson. Patrick Simpson. Patrick writes in and says, I've been watching your content for a while now, but this is my first letter to you. First, I wanted to share your enthusiasm for Nick Pizzolatto and Matthew McConaughey adapting Mike Hammer. I have been a big Mike Hammer fan for years now. Most people in my generation, millennials, don't know who the character is and his relevance to the 20th century. I have read most of the Mike Hammer novels, both from Mickey Spillane and Max Allen Collins, and it's exciting to see a strong duo make a Mike Hammer project. I'm a little biased here, but I think Max's take on Mike Hammer is better than Spillane's. Recently, I published my second novel, and one of my inspirations for my crime fiction writing is Max Allen Collins. Before I got my first novel published, I studied his work for years. The first time I read Quarry, I felt like everything just clicked with me as a writer. I've spoken with Max a few times by email, and he is one of the most generous writers I've ever encountered. He talked to me like a writer and didn't knock me down or try and act like he was superior. Over the years, I've collected several of his novels. The picture below isn't just books that I've gained over the years, but ones that have been signed by Max. I'll have to go get this picture. I also wanted to bring up my enthusiasm for the new Superman movie. I'm not sure what James Gunn is going to do with the movie, but I'm optimistic. Nonetheless, the movie looks hopeful and has something about it that we haven't seen from a Superman movie in a long time. Last thing, watching Robservations, you made me go back and watch The Empire Strikes Back. I hadn't watched the movie in years because I had fatigue with the franchise and I was tired of hearing about it. From your show, you made me go back down and watch the movie. And not just watch the movie, but not think about prequels and sequels and an expanded universe. I sat down to watch a film. And when I did that, I fell back in love with the movie and realized it's a perfect film. Thank you for your commentary and everything you do. Patrick Simpson. So there you go, Max. I saved that letter to read on this show so I could read it directly to you. And
well, I would like to say something, which is I do hear this from time to time, people who say they like my take better than Mickey's, and that's a little deceiving because everything I've done 14, all have emanated from Spillane manuscripts in progress, or maybe a synopsis, or once in a while it's just a few something maybe wrote for trying to pitch his own TV show. He used to try to get stuff on the Mike Hammer TV show, and I don't think they ever used anything. That says a lot about Hollywood, doesn't it?
yes.
Yeah, we got a Mickey Spillane Mike Hammer story. I don't think he gets the character. I just really don't.
By the way, Patrick's here's his collection of your books that he has signed, that you've signed for him. So there you go. One of the recent Nathan Heller novels, Before Too Many Bullets, the big bundle. These are all hard case crime books, so that's pretty cool.
I have to tell you, Rob, that the artist wanted to know what Nate Heller looked like. And I sent him a picture of, look at the cover closely, sent him a picture of Robert Lansing.
Wow. Of course, Gary Seven from Star Trek. Sure. That's very exciting. So, Max, there you go. Now, let me ask you this. You had some things you wanted to talk about, some physical media specifically that you brought up, some Warner Archive titles. What's going on with you?
Well, they both really are, because I'm supposed to be kind of the film noir expert here. And I got from them, both of which are really interesting. One is Hitman. And it's interesting for a couple of reasons. Well, it stars Bernie Casey, who was the first black Felix Leiter.
Yep, and I know, never say never again. I know. You had to bring it up.
It co-stars Pam Grier a year before Coffee. And then there's Roger, became a regular on Magnum PI. But that's not... should mention the director, George Armitage, who did some really good movies.
Miami Blues.
Yeah. Grosse Pointe Blank. So what's significant about this movie, beyond just being, I would, a well above average blaxploitation movie, and I love blaxploitation movies. I'm watching with my wife Barb, and we're like 45 minutes into it, and she says to me, "This is a remake of Get Carter, isn't it?" But it took her.
That's why you married her, though, huh?
Yeah, but
did you get a little wood when she said that?
Yeah, but it's because I'm a Ted Lewis fan now. Who is Ted Lewis? He was this British author who did really tough guy stuff. And one of the books was called Jack's Return Home, and that was the basis of Get Carter. The great Michael Caine, Mike Hodges movie, which is, I think, one of the, if you want to talk about neo-noir, it's one of the superior examples of it. And it's at times been voted the best movie ever made in England, which is a pretty, it's pretty high mark. But I saw that in the theater, and I saw it a couple of times, and it's really tough as nails. It really, really is. And this movie is softens the character just a little bit. He's in Get Carter. He's very clearly somebody who works for the mob in the big city, who goes back home to see why his brother was killed. And it's a detective story. And he is a detective who makes Mike Hammer look like a pansy, honestly. He is so tough in that movie. And I think it arguably is one of Kane's best performances. Scariest, definitely scariest. And then really the director is hard to beat. I mean,
At
any rate, that Mike Hodges, I should say.
Yeah, who also directed Flash Gordon.
Yes, and this movie, this takes a while for the movie, and this is sort of in defense of my wife, to really reveal itself, because there's a lot of stories about guys trying to find out who killed their brother or whatever.
Now you're talking about Hitman.
Yeah, about Hitman. Now, when it turns the corner and gets closer to Get Carter, it gets pretty. And let me just say that Pam Grier has an amazing, spoiler alert, possible death scene. We're actually not shown, but it's hard to extrapolate anything but a bad afternoon for Pam Grier.
Wow.
And she would not have probably made this movie prior to hitting with, because like I said, a year later, it's Coffee, and Foxy Brown and all of that great stuff that she made.
Yeah, absolutely. And how's this disc look? I mean, Warner Archive, their bit rates are always the highest. I mean,
it looks great. I mean, I've never a Warner Archives Blu-ray. I even used to buy the DVDs years ago.
Yeah, they were great,
and I always thought they're first rate. The music sounds great, so the score sounds really great. Almost all of these blaxploitation films just have incredible musical scores. Because they go out and it's like each movie would go out and find somebody who was famous within the sort of black community of musicians. And so, and it started with Shaft, of course.
Right. Shut your mouth.
So, yeah, I have to say, and I wish, gentlemen, but my publisher in Dieter Basti was my publisher in Germany. And all of my Corey stuff was out there, and they brought me over to Germany and had me speak to, and I speak in English, but they all seemed to understand me, which is more than could be said for my American audiences. But he was this incredible guy, and we went to his home, and he had a bookcase similar to what you see behind, Rob there, but it was all books. It wasn't toys.
There's no toys. There's no toys here. What are you talking about?
Toys? Toys.
Collectible figurines.
Valuable collectibles that you will never sell.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at the bookshelf, and he's got Jack's Return Home, which is by Ted Lewis. Great author. He died. Lewis died at like 42, and he had been, I think, a cartoonist. Very interesting, but unfortunately short life. And I'm on the shelf, and I pull it off, and I open it up, and it's signed.
Wow.
And I said to this editor, this is for real? He says, yes, he signed it in front of me. And, this is incredible. He says, Max, it's yours. That is one of the kindest things anybody ever did. They're in the right now with all of Ted Lewis's books, because he's one of my favorite writers.
Now, does he get...
Where are you actually in Germany, Max? Do you know which town? Which town did you...
Cologne?
Yeah. Cologne, okay.
Yeah. So does he...
Great town. Great city. Loved it.
Does Ted get credit on Hitman for his original novel?
He does, and I believe... Hodges gets some credit for the screenplay.
Yeah. By the way, Max, you're a little loud. You're You can back off on the volume, or you can sit
Okay.
back. I'm
All
sorry.
right. All right.
It's just clipping a little.
Sorry about that.
No, you're a voice in the wilderness. You're coming from Iowa. I mean, you have to be heard. I'm just saying it was just a little loud. But this, does this have any special features? Anything on it? Any commentary or?
I don't think it does. It just says the original trailer.
Oh, okay.
So this is, but on the back, and of course my wife hadn't seen this. It does say, "Pretty smart." And the height of blaxploitation, I forget the name of it, but they asphalt.
Right.
Was the name of that movie, and it was adapted from W.R. Jungle. Great film. So yeah, it's very interesting when this stuff.
Hang on a second. It's just because you're clipping it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Can you bring down the volume even a little bit more?
Is that a little better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. But I think MGM did a lot of these pictures.
Yeah.
And they had this library they could call upon to do remakes. But somebody there must have made the connection between gangster films and what they were doing in blaxploitation.
By the way, this is a perfect volume for you right now.
Okay.
This sounds great.
All right.
Well,
and I really like the movie. I really liked it, and that's a great transfer. And your friend George is to be congratulated again.
Well, again, I have to say that Feltenstein, who with the Trump administration, why can't they just make George Feltenstein the America's film czar?
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't see that today? Trump named himself America's film czar.
Oh, he named himself America's film czar. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate because George Feltenstein is the film in everyone's hearts. To talk to that man, first of all, you know what the great thing about George Feltenstein is? I love listening to his voice. You know how people, there's enthusiasm that even when I don't see him, like I've actually sat down and had lunch with him, but to hear him talk about movies is like if you're having a bad day, George Feltenstein should just do a series of talks, like George Talks, and they should put them up on the Warner Archive website where he can just opine about the releases. I would listen to that. They just give him a TMC show. I mean, something. Because if you're having a bad day, I have his phone number. I'm not going to give it out. But I can call him up, and I can just hear his voice, and it makes me happy. Because I know what he's doing. And I alluded to this last week, and I don't know when we're going to start to see the fruits of this, but that man, when he told me what the plans are with certain things, you know what? If ever I was going to feel sorrowful about the state of the world, I'll just have to think what George Feltenstein told me about what's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out in terms of the Warner, everything that they control.
I know you're disappointed. That that George did not get appointed the film czar, national film czar.
There's still
time.
I
have a question for you. Was George ever in a Home Alone movie?
I to be honest, I've never asked him. Maybe he was in a direct-to-video sequel.
That's a possibility.
Were you in a Home Alone movie?
No, but our president was.
It's true. He was.
Yeah. He stunk up the place.
This is the required recommendation, probably.
So you had one more movie you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. This is another Warner Archive from our friend George Feltenstein. It's let's see. Yeah, how do I do this? Never mind that. You've got His Kind of a Woman, or His Kind of Woman. Very interesting movie. It comes from John Farrow, who married Maureen O'Sullivan and gave birth to, well, he didn't, she did, Mia Farrow. And he has a pretty good pedigree for like really genuine film noir, things like The Big Clock.
Oh yeah,
which was remade.
Remade with Dennis Quaid.
and Night Has a Thousand Eyes, and another Mitchum movie called Where Danger Lives. Jim, it's kind of funny when you look at these guys, some of whom are known as specialists. Most of these directors, other than somebody like, say, Hitchcock, most of these directors worked in all kinds of genres. I mean, they're just all over the map. And it shows you the kind of skills they had to have in that particular era. Also, his kind of woman, if you look it up on the Internet Movie Database, it says that Richard Fleischer co-directed it or came in. I don't know who.
Wow.
I don't know which one was first, and somebody came in and finished it, which kind of doesn't surprise me because the movie feels a little like two movies. And the first one of the two movies is about Robert Mitchum and his romance with Jane Russell. And I have to say, this movie is made, and when was this movie made? I'd say about 1950. Jane Russell is stunningly beautiful in this movie. And Mitchum just kind of looks at her like she's a meal, you know? And
my kind of guy.
Yes. And I would, the movie is, it's hard to describe because the front end, maybe the first 2/3 are a fairly straight film noir. It isn't really deeply emotional like some are, but it certainly has the film noir trappings. It certainly looks like a film noir. A lot of it takes place, most of it takes place at a Mexican resort overlooking the ocean. And it's incredible art direction. I mean, this place absolutely looks like it's inhabited by, as you know, an entire, like every room is filled. And when they walk through the bar room area, it's just it doesn't look like a movie. And it has, I mean, supposedly, who is it that's supposed to be, I think, like Mamie Van Doren's supposed to be one of the women at the bar, and I didn't even notice her.
Wow.
There were so many people around. But get this cast from a film noir standpoint. This is beyond Mitchum and Russell. Vincent Price. Now, some of these names will not mean anything to everybody in the audience, but I think Rob and Dieter, you'll know who these people are. Charles McGraw, Raymond Burr, Tim Holt, Anthony Caruso, King Donovan, Paul Frees.
The voice of Paul Frees, the voice of Disneyland,
the voice of Boris Badenov.
Yeah.
And just when you hear him speak in this movie, it's like a movie trailer has just happened out of this guy's mouth. Also, there's a woman named Marjorie Reynolds, and that's kind of it kind of maybe tells a sad Hollywood story because she had starred with Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire in the precursor to White Christmas, which was called Holiday Inn.
Right.
Which of course the famous hotel chain picked up on. And it's an incredible movie. I much prefer it to White Christmas, which I kind of think is a dud, and frankly, it just looks great.
Boo.
Well,
boo.
have you seen Holiday Inn? Which it was.
I have, but not for a long time. I've seen White Christmas much more recently, but I'll go back.
It's really, really good. Although there is a very uncomfortable minstrel scene that will make you ashamed to be white, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much par for the course with my entire life these days. So I can go back. Well, I mean, I'm white and Jewish. Nobody likes me. It's fine.
Dieter and I like you.
Yeah, and he's a German, which is amazing. And you live in Iowa, which is the whitest state in the United States. Are there even any,
I went to school with two black people.
Well, did they watch blaxploitation cinema?
No, it was a little bit earlier than that, but you would not believe how many blaxploitation movies I saw in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and again, my wife Barb loves them, and we went to them all the time. We were in the audience for Cotton Comes to Harlem in Chicago.
You went
I
to
think
Cotton Comes to you. That's the equivalent in that theater of having somebody turn on their iPhone. You would have been glowing. The audience would have been like, "Sir, can you tone down the whiteness because we can't see the screen."
Well, all Barbara and I had to do was occasionally yell, "Kill Whiting."
Oh, there you go. All Barbara had to do was get up, and the guys would have loved that.
No, there was nothing. Nobody said a word to us. They were just very friendly, and it was downtown Chicago. It was one of those big movie houses.
Yeah.
But I wasn't not going to see it. It's from a Chester Himes novel.
Plus the audiences are the best.
Oh, yeah,
urban audiences are the best. I went and saw every Friday the 13th movie for that specific reason, and it was great.
I agree with that. Now, the movie itself, why I say it feels like two movies is Vincent Price has a really good part where he's a little miscast, but he's playing a kind of a Errol Flynn kind of movie star. And he shoots guns and he goes hunting and he does all kinds of things that are overtly masculine, but he feels like a fraud. And he gets involved in the last act of the movie trying to rescue Robert Mitchum. Well, here's the problem. He's hilarious, and it's not a comedy. And
that's a problem.
It was a problem because there's scenes with there's scenes with Price that cut back and forth with Mitchum getting tortured, and then it's back to Price, who's trying to load a bunch of funny comic characters into a boat and coming to save him. This is why I suspect some of this movie was directed by somebody different than John Farrow. I do recommend it because it looks great. It has a phenomenal cast. It's one of these, everybody, and I read some of the names, but everybody who walks into this bar was somebody I saw all the time on TV and movies in my childhood. And there's a comforting feeling about that, I think. And, Tim Holt walks into the movie, I think, halfway through and is in the movie for maybe 10 minutes. And I'm telling my wife, I said, that's the star of the Magnificent, Ambersons, and a guy who was a major Western star. And he just comes in and does this kind of bit. So I found it from a movie, like a cinephile, particularly if Hollywood movies of the 40s are of interest to you. I wouldn't miss this. And Jane Russell sings well, and she's just, as I was saying, man, she is. I've always thought she's attractive, but this is just amazing what she looks like in this movie.
Well, again, I mean, it shows the Warner Archive collection. I think Damn Fool Idealistic Crusader, who we don't know, but I talk about him because I watch his. He has a great physical media channel. He voted Warner Archive like his favorite label. I don't know if it was this year, a couple of years maybe ago. And people do not know, they do not understand the curation that George Feltenstein is bringing to these movies. His choice of releases and there's so much thought and there's so much care put behind these releases. By the way, I do want to announce that when George asked me about my High Society disc, which is actually here's the Blu-ray for High Society. He asked me if when I called him to opine how great it was, he asked me did it come with a slipcase, and it did not come with. It did, yeah. So you can go and get a slipcase, and you can, if you have the disc, you can write, because I don't think they're too worried about people just getting a slipcase for High Society. So they know if you're writing to them. Let me get this. You can write. All you have to do is send an email, and let me get that email about the High Society. So High Society is the fourth. Pardon me. It's the fourth. It's the second. It is the second 4K disc that Warner Archive has released. And we talked about it last week. It is, in fact, spectacular. I think it's definitely worth getting. And I'm looking around. Maybe I have it on the digital bits. I want to get you guys you can email, and they will send you a slipcase. And George was very distressed that I did not get a slipcase. So, and I'm looking at this, and I don't know why I cannot find it. Well, look, I can't find it here, but while we're live. Allied artists, or the people that send out review copies, they have generously, thank you Warner Archive, made, you can go onto the digital bits, I guess do a Google search. If you want to get a slipcase for your High Society disc, you can write in. All you have to do, and they will send you one. They're not going to send you, it's not going to come with a disc in it. It's just the slipcase for High Society. And, you know, Warner Archive, their first slipcased O-ring, as we say, the O-ring, was the Searchers. And, of course, slipcases always up your game. I mean, even you know, as we know, even Arrow now puts O-rings on their releases when they didn't used to. So you want to get that slipcase? It's now, look at that. There you go, Deets. Now, so I wanted to say that. Max, there's one other thing you wanted to talk about today. And that's it's an official James Bond movie. And
you mean Never Say Never Again?
Dude.
I didn't want to bring it up because I hate it when you're wrong, Rob.
Okay. But there's a very interesting wrinkle with Never Say Never Again, and it's here. Tell us what this is. First of all, I'm not wrong, but we'll get to that. But what is this? What is this Never Say Never Again you wanted to talk about?
You're right. You're not wrong. You're just misguided. And there is a difference. There's a difference.
Okay, that's good you say that, because clearly I will cop to...
show you the way, Rob.
Yes, he'll show the way. So tell us about what are we talking about here? What is this Never Say Never Again business?
It's a fan edit, which the major thing is that all the kind, and I love Never Say Never Again, but I hate the score. It's
Michel Legrand. Yeah, talk about miscast.
It is such a disservice to the film, and this fan edit, which I can't tell you how to get. It isn't something you can go out and buy.
Yeah, I mean, all the good faith that we just, Warner Brothers has the rights to release Never Say Never Again. All the good faith that George Feltenstein just felt from us is now being, stripped away, because we're advocating searching the web, going on Pirate Bay, whatever, and finding an illegal, unofficial version. Not only is this not an official James Bond movie, you're advocating that we go steal. Which, by the way, I'm kind of there for. So, keep going.
Well, I was... The thing that really makes the difference, that's a re-edit, and there's some things I really like about this re-edit. They tighten some things up. Some of it I'm not crazy about, because they use things from other movies. If they need, a shot of a plane or something that wasn't...
the beginning, they edit this plane, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I didn't care for that kind of stuff, but there's improved sound effects. Really, on a scale of 1 to 10, as a fan edit, this is easily a 9, because all of that music is replaced by John Barry music, mostly from Bond movies, sometimes from other Barry scores. And here's what I would say to MGM now that they own all of the movies, and to Amazon now that they own all the movies. You need to do listen to me now. You need to do a 4K of Never Say Never Again. And then you need to, because you own all this stuff, probably including the music, give us as a bonus disc a Blu-ray of not this fan edit, but just get rid of that music so that the James Bond theme can play under fucking James Bond. Okay? And that's just what I would ask. And I don't think that's impossible. And I think they'd get they would get a huge response on that.
So what you're advocating is something that we here talk about not doing, preserving film history. Where's the original version of Star Wars? So you're advocating that a studio, just to be clear, should completely disregard Irvin Kershner is no longer with us, replacing the score with John Barry, who is no longer alive. Is that what you're advocating?
Pretty much.
Nick said as a bonus disc.
I said the
Nick
4K would be the 4K would be pure.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. And do you know the only country in the world that is doing this kind of great work and releasing it? Germany. Germany is giving us the Ulysses cut of Waterworld in 4K. They gave us, hallelujah, the Spice Diver cut of David Lynch's Dune. Only in Germany can they skirt copyright laws the way they can there. God bless the Germans and God bless everybody in that country, because we are getting those things. So even if Warner Brothers doesn't want to do it, somebody in Germany will.
Somebody might, but I would love to see them. This is like, to me, when a family sort of recognizes its adopted child, okay, brings them in, and says this wasn't part of the Eon, and they aren't Eon anymore. Eon won't be producing the next movie, right?
No, they're gone. It's Amazon now.
Yeah.
MGM Amazon.
So will that be an official movie when it's not done by Eon?
No, because they're the new owners. They're the new custodians of the Bond franchise.
Yes, but you overlook the fact that Never Say Never Again comes from Fleming material, because Fleming, if there's a villain in this, it's Fleming, because he did these screenplays with McClory and
I know, but McClory got his due on Thunderball.
Yeah, but what Fleming did, and I can understand it because writers are kind of sloppy, but he based his novel Thunderball on those scripts and did not credit them. I know. So
speaking of which, there's a tip that came in from our friend Stubble McShave in Sweden. Has a question for you along the lines of Amazon MGM. Amazon is interested in a subscription model for ebooks, similar to their Audible model. Do you think it's a problem when the consumer is loyal to a subscription model rather than direct purchases? It creates a distance between the creator and the consumer. What do you think?
That's a hard one for me to answer, because anything that makes the writers money in a culture where nobody's reading books much is okay with me. I do some stuff with Amazon. I'm not doing anything with them right now, but they did a lot of my backlist, and it was all ebooks, and you could get a print on demand of anything you wanted. And let me tell you, the ebooks sold in incredible numbers compared to the books. Now, I say this as a guy who does not own a Kindle and has never read a book on ebook, and I've never read an ebook, and I never will.
Me neither. I need a book, man. I need to smell the paper. I need to hear nothing. There's a few sweeter sounds, but nothing is sweeter than paper in a book. Paper, 2 pages scraping against one another.
But there's also nothing sadder than getting a fingerprint on a page.
I don't get fingerprints on pages. My books are in mint condition, man.
So you read books with with gloves on? Basically.
No, I don't. And I'll tell you something else. I read hardcover books, I haven't done in a while, in the bathtub, and nothing happens to them. That's how good I am. My paperbacks do not have broken spines.
Well, my paperbacks don't have broken spines, but I've read in the bathtub too, and probably 3 books went down with, like, the Titanic.
But I haven't read Baron Orgaz yet, but I'm going to.
That's through a good twist in the book.
Well, guys, it's great talking to you. I'll keep working on straightening Rob out on Never Say Never Again. Before I go, I agree with you that that the new director is a really interesting choice.
Denis Villeneuve. I mean, he's one of the, look. If we got a Sicario Bond, I would be like, okay. But I do think that we have been dealing with the Craig era. I think Bond needs to lighten up. Denis Villeneuve does not know humor. There's got to be there's got to be and I have to say that Bond, I love Denis Villeneuve's movies, but we need sex and humor brought back to Bond. And I don't want morose Bond. I want a Bond that loves being Bond, that's going to kill some motherfuckers and make love to women and drink heavily, smoke. The man is on the precipice of the end of the world every day of his life, which is why he knows so much. No one loves humanity more than James Bond, which is why he has a license to fucking kill, because what he is doing is cleaning up the human race for the world. And he drinks in. He loves the pleasures of the flesh. He loves the sensual pleasures. He loves drinking fine martinis and great champagne, a Bollinger 61. Bring that back to the world, because we're all a bunch of namby-pambies these days, and we need Bond to show us the way.
Well, I agree, and I think the humor needs to be done with a certain touch. It can get too quippy, and I'll give an example. A bad one comes from the Eon Thunderball, where Bond shoots a guy with a spear and says he got the point. Okay, a good one is from Never Say Never Again, when he plays that. Oh my God!
What?
When he plays. When he plays the video game with
Klaus Maria Brandauer,
and as he's leaving, he turns to Kim Basinger and says, "He's certifiable." Now, that's the kind of humor you need. You need it not to try too hard. It needs to be. Bond is brilliant in his way. Is brilliant. He's going to throw these lines away.
By the way, Darth Plato says this week is the 200th anniversary for Walter Scott's The Talisman, which is the template for Kingdom of Heaven, and both have questionable historiographies. Have you ever read Walter Scott's The Talisman?
No, I've read Ivanhoe. I bet my uncle $20 that when I was a kid that Robin Hood was in Ivanhoe, and he didn't believe me. And I got to $20.
Louis Feliciano says, would love to see Lucky from 2017 enter the Criterion Collection, Harry Dean Stanton's last movie.
Oh.
I don't disagree with you. And 200 Watt Studio, the name that I was not going to speak when talking about To Live and Die in L.A., says that Robert Wise was one of those directors going from film noir to science fiction to musicals. And then he also sends in a super chat that says, Sorcerer is fantastic. I agree. Well, finally, 200 Watt Studio can get on my good graces again. It's been years since 200 Watt Studio has not.
Last week you mentioned a Warner Archives title, which I have but haven't watched yet. Robert Wise's Executive Suite, which doesn't fall even into any of those categories. These guys, and I mentioned this in passing, these kind of workhorse directors, they could do anything.
Yeah, storytellers are storytellers. You know, we don't. I mean, I agree.
Okay, well, I'm gonna shuffle off here. Hopefully, not this Mortal Coil.
Not so fast, Max. I have two things from the live chat that I wanted to ask you.
Oh,
the live chat, especially
do you want to jump to them?
Kenneth Grady Jr. wants to know, Max, what is your favorite version of Superman 2?
I would say the Lester.
Okay.
All right. And controversial.
The other one was back here from Rob Saint 007. Rob, can you ask Max about his John Sands novels, and if there's and there will be any more? Thanks again. So Max, about your.
By the way, he also wrote a letter that I just forgot. I always forget about your John Sand novels.
Well, there's three of them. They are available both as books and as ebooks. Yeah. You can get them from Amazon. Probably doubtful of any more, but they are available in all three in one volume, which is a pretty good deal. The concept, which I may have mentioned on the show before, is that the conceit is that John Sand is the secret agent who James Bond was based on by Ian Fleming. And one of the things I did in the book was I never mentioned Ian Fleming's name, even though he's in a couple of scenes. He's just this fellow spy who made some money out of doing this concept. And so the idea is he can't be a secret agent anymore because everybody knows him. And it's kind of like the James Bond movies where they always know who James Bond is immediately. Well, there's the famous secret agent. There's something.
They just haven't met him. They didn't have the internet. They couldn't see his face, so they don't know what he looks like. You know?
But I did them a little bit like the Hellers, Rob, where I put John Sand into historical context, right as he would have been when those movies were being made originally, and they did get an awful lot of publicity at the time. I mean, those movies were Beatles.
They were huge. No, huge.
Guys.
They had when Goldfinger opened, they had 24-hour-a-day screenings in theaters. We were much more cultured back then. We knew what was up. Well, Max Allan Collins, Mystery Writers of America Grandmaster, scripter of True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak, available now at truenoir.co. You got to meet Max is to love Max, to speak with him. You can see, I don't have to tell you, despite his predilection for thinking that Never Say Never Again is an official James Bond movie, whatever. Not everyone's perfect. What Max really has to do is bring his wife on the show, and you'll realize what a gifted man he truly is to score someone like her, because she's amazing and beautiful.
But I'm on the verge of losing her to Dietz.
I know. What's up with that? Maybe she can explain the fixation, how Dieter Bastian is a sex symbol. I don't know.
It's
not that you're not, because he's a sex symbol to me too. So,
but I will not try the Max move and say Maverick is more important.
Guys, it's always a pleasure to be here, and we're going to be kind of a regular or semi-regular feature, I think. Is that right, Rob?
Sure, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Every week you have to prove yourself. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying. Because
I want to, before I go, I want to say one thing about these Warner Archives. I think they do not come, all of them with sleeve. It doesn't have the bells and whistles that everybody's into now, and I am too. These are about movies. These are for people that are interested in and love movies. And God bless George. Really, God bless him.
I agree. And that, of course, just paid for all the free discs they've sent me. I'm just kidding.
How many did I get?
Hey, I got this box for you. It keeps getting bigger.
Listen, don't you hand that off to me at San Diego Con and make me schlep it home.
That's a great idea, though.
Do not do that.
Idea. Okay. And by the way, people will see us. If you want to meet Max Allan Collins, you want to get one of your books signed, we are going to be doing a panel at the San Diego Comic-Con on Friday. I don't know what the date is. It's the 24th. It's the weekend that the Fantastic Four opens. Comic-Con runs preview nights Wednesday night, then it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm doing panels on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday so far. But Max Allan Collins and I will be doing a panel. Do you know what time it's at on Friday?
I do not. I'll have it posted on my website. I do a weekly blog.
Tell people where your website is. Great. Your website's great.
Well,
I'm sending them to you right now to where you can buy the audio drama, because we collaborated and actually made something. But what's your website?
Well, the web address, I guess, is maxallancollins.com, and it's called FOMAC, which goes back to when I used to do the newsletter, physical newsletter, for friends of Max Allan Collins, friends and relatives of Max Allan Collins.
Well, now
our relatives.
Now it's fear of missing out. FOMO. You should change the website to FOMO Max Allan Collins, because you don't want to miss out on what Max is doing.
Well, I thought also, Rob, I think you and I should do some forward planning for where Nate Heller and True Noir go next.
I totally agree. By the way, we would be remiss without mentioning the fact that we are working on a film that we're going to start shooting in 2026. Where the budget's coming from, don't yet know. But we have the script that Max Allan Collins wrote, True Noir, dying in the post-war world, set in 1947. This is a crazy serial killer story that has dead women and a missing girl and all kinds of Lynchian aspects based on a true story that actually happened, the Lipstick Murders. The script is fantastic. Max wrote it. I'm directing. Hey, and how is it going to happen? To quote Jeffrey Wright in Shakespeare in Love, I don't know. It's a mystery. But we are making this movie. And if you know anybody with money or you know a streaming service,
I was hoping Dietz had money. For us.
Not that much that you probably would need to do the movie.
All you have to do is not buy physical media for a year.
Well, maybe
and
we're
be
gonna,
able to make
Correct.
this movie.
We'll let it slide for a year. Then I probably will have money.
and the thing is, it's set in the post-war world. We can't even have Dieter hook us up with like German car manufacturers because I don't think in 1947 Americans were buying a lot of German automobiles.
They barely had American cars at that point.
Yeah, so we can't do it. Well, Max, it's good
All right,
to have
thank
you
you,
here.
guys.
Kiss your wife for me and tell her it's from me, not from Dieter. On the cheek, of course, but I'll leave that up to you. It's
Where do I
great to-
kiss with Dieter?
You know what? I was trying to
that
stay
up
away
to
from
her.
that. I was trying to stay away from that, But the Germans are they have the great sex clubs. I don't know. I don't want to speak to any of that.
Watching you try to keep it clean is pretty amusing.
I can't ever do it. Can't ever do it.
Gentlemen,
All right.
thank you very much. It's fun to. I've got to go over and get rid of a couple of these dead bodies in my wing of the motel.
Yeah.
Very discreetly. There's a sewer. There's a sewer out back. I can just dump them into.
Wow. Okay. Well, then they might get carried out to sea at some point after they decompose enough. That's good.
That's right.
It's
By
our
the way,
motel. Don't
I-
forget, it's our motel. Like we just let you build a wing. So.
Before I go, Rob, I have a really good idea for our next movie.
Uh-oh.
When we're done.
You mean wait? After True Noir dying in
Yes.
the post-war world? Okay.
Okay, now just be open-minded. Vampire dinosaurs from outer space.
Oh man, I'm in. You know what? The great thing about a movie about vampire dinosaurs from outer space is that Dieter would actually buy that on physical media.
He wants to pre-order
Told
it.
you how great the Invisible Raptor is, but
There-
no, you had to go and see Jurassic Park at Jurassic World Rebirth.
All right, Max.
How much-
Thanks.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. Max Allen Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Go to his website. Go buy his books. They're all over Amazon. You can listen to audio dramas, but most importantly, True Noir: The Assassination of Anton Cermak. If you want to see an example of incredible screenwriting, well, actually, you can't see it. You can listen to it. And let's face it, amazing direction of a great bunch of actors. That was my part.
Yeah.
Please check out and support us because it was entirely independently produced. True Noir: The Assassination of Anton Cermak. It's over 4 hours long. It's 10 episodes. You can get it right now at truenoir.co for $30. $30. And for those Kickstarter donors, all the physical media is in the process of being made. The soundtrack album, by the way, has liner notes by Jeff Bond. Max, you read those liner notes. They're incredible liner notes.
Excellent.
And the soundtrack is really, really, really terrific, and I'm very excited about all of it, and it's all in process.
Well, we goof around a lot here, which is what makes life worth living. But I have to say, I've never been prouder of anything in my career than this production.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I include Road to Perdition.
Yeah, they should have let you write it.
Well, I did write the source.
It's true. You did write it. It's true. By the way,
I'm just saying a random name of a movie.
I never want to work with another screenwriter again except you, unless it's me. And maybe we'll do a collab. I'll send you something I want you to look at. But on that note, I'll let you go, hang out, enjoy your Sunday, and we will see you later.
I'll be watching you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Max Allen Collins, the great Max Allen Collins, who, I can rely on when someone just decides they don't want to do the show and just hang out and watch Kingdom of Heaven.
Correct, Rob.
I
Up next, Rob, just a question. Never Say Never Again. Was it even ever released on DVD or Blu-ray? I don't remember having that movie.
Yeah, no, it's
at
out.
all in my
It's out. It's out on Blu-ray. It's been
Okay.
released. Yeah, on every format.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
I missed it. I don't missed it.
Stubble McShave, by the way,
we have,
says dying in the post-war world
yeah.
doesn't have to be a period piece since World War III is right around the corner. You can set it in the present.
Stubble.
I don't know. By the way, Agent Silver Fox sends in a super chat and says, "You're on the deathbed. You have only one day." I got to bring Max back for this. Is Matt? He's still there? I'm going to bring Max back for this. I didn't kick him out. So this is a great question. Agent Silver Fox says, "You're on your deathbed. You have one day to watch movies. What are they before you leave this mortal coil?" Dieter, you're going to die. Don't tell me you're going to watch Invisible Raptor.
No, Rob, no.
Okay.
Because I had already seen it. Ooh. Always those.
Aren't you gonna go? You're gonna die. You're gonna, it's the end of the world as we know it. Bellis and Zyra are gonna destroy the planet. You got one more day left. What's going on? What are you gonna watch?
You are probably picking some big ones.
No,
I will pick. It depends on how much time you have last day. Detroit Rock City, because for me it's more like a concert, great music. I can watch that movie all the time. Perhaps even Galaxy Quest.
Wow.
Terminator 2 should be in there, but the extended cut.
Yeah, but we don't have a good version of it in 4K, unfortunately.
Yeah. But
so you're gonna watch that shitty transfer on the last day of the world?
It's not actually a pretty shitty transfer, but because Lionsgate, the last one that I put out from the extended cut, was pretty good. Was a pretty good transfer. Actually.
All right. Okay.
It still has the grain, Rob. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you're right.
It's not the 4K. I'm talking about the extended cut, Rob, which is not out on 4K. It's still the Blu-ray, which has the grain to it. It's tough.
Max, what about you? Last day on Earth.
If I think about how long I sometimes need to even think about what I'm in the mood of to watch at the moment now, so to pick out the last movies to watch would be tough.
Max, what about you? One more day left.
I'll be pretty serious. The Searchers,
which Warner Archive put out in 4K with a slipcase.
Kiss Me Deadly, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Phantom of the Paradise. You'll love this, Rob. Little Abner.
Wow. Okay.
And am I still alive? Probably. I'm sure Hulo's Holiday.
Oh, great movie.
Just because I would be like, okay, that was a sweet thing. Maybe this ride wasn't so bad. So that's a day's watch, isn't it?
That's a good one.
Okay.
I would my final day on Earth movies would probably be All About Eve, because I love that screenplay. Maybe Sunset Boulevard, just because I love that. I would definitely watch Godfather 1 and 2. I don't know how much time I have. I would watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I left that out. That should have been on my list.
Yeah, and the last two movies I would watch.
The problem with this question, you always would come up with, oh, I forgot that one.
The last two movies I would watch, because they would remind me in my own mind how much I love humanity and I love life. Amelie, and the final movie I would watch before the world ended would be Bob Fosse's All That Jazz. Because All That Jazz is one of the most influential movies in my entire life for me personally. And at the end, Roy Scheider, bye-bye life, bye-bye happiness, hello loneliness. Come on. Ben Vereen.
By the way, the end of the world is scheduled for Wednesday. If you want to put that down in your book.
Oh, okay.
It's scheduled for next Wednesday.
If the big beautiful bill passes, we can't afford to pay for anything anyway, so we might as well. We'll be taxed into oblivion. And wow, it's funny. I went in. I rolled in as a lifelong registered Democrat, thinking, all right, Donald Trump. Let's give him a chance. Let's see what he's gonna do. I was perfectly willing to. He won the popular vote, won the election. Why bitch and moan and complain? Let's hope the president will know what he's doing. Mike Bawden, our friend who introduced us, who is a lifelong Republican, said to me, his entire administration is going to go completely off the rails by July. And I said, Mike, you're a lifelong Republican. Really? You were the mayor of Riverdale, Iowa. You are the most Republican I know, who's a moderate Republican, but he goes, nope, his entire administration, by the time we reach July, this country is going to be so far off the rails you won't even recognize what's happening. And I said, lifelong Democrats, like, come on, we got to give Mr. Trump a chance. President Trump gets a chance.
Only one day to fix everything.
I'm like the most. Mike Bawden is the most prophetic Republican I know, and I could never ever ever have imagined where our country has descended to since January. Although, not everything's bad. Got to take the good with the bad. There's some things that are working out. Some things. Other things, though, it's got to be a balance. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But, so Wednesday, I'll pencil that in.
Yeah.
So I know what. Now we know what movies we're gonna watch.
But PM, you've got time to watch the movies.
Yeah, and it would depend. PM. Hang on, let me be clear. Which time zone are we talking about? Are we talking about Greenwich Mean Time? You know, because by the our whatever we're doing, what about those poor souls across the international date line?
There's only one time zone, Central.
Okay, there we go. Said from the man who lives in Iowa. Anyway, Max, thanks for being here. We're letting you go this time for real. I'm turning it back over to Dieter
I'm going to
Bastian.
be watching you, but I won't be available.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, you're not, because I'm going to send you away. You know. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to just take you and make you go away. So, bye, Max. Max Allen Collins, ladies and gentlemen. We're back to the star of this show, Dieter Bastian. Dieter. We've shown physical media.
Okay.
You must have more physical media.
Correct, Rob. And like I said, Rob, I had to go to IMDb to see what the actually English title of this movie is, because it's a Blu-ray from France, and that's called The Feel It Is Sung, and the original title is actually, or the English title is Zoo Torn. So this is a cat in the bag for me, Rob. I have no idea, not a 4K. Stumbled across the movie, looks cool, you know, through browsing, and I think it's only out at the moment in France, actually. Movie's called Zoo Torn from 2024. Cat in the bag. I loved the Happy Death Day movies from Christopher Landon, so for me this was a must purchase. I got from Universal drop, Blu-ray, and let me see, yeah, 4K and the Blu-ray too. Quite enjoyed it, even if you have to give the movie a little bit of a leeway, considering some stuff, because there was one thing and I thought, wait, how did she do that? Okay, so you have to put your brain a little bit on half modus. So drop Christopher Landon. But Christopher, get on to doing Happy Death Day 3. We need to end the trilogy. This came in yesterday. It comes out here from Studio Canal Art House. I've got from Luc Besson.
Oh, I ordered that. I can't wait to get that. I love that movie.
The Steelbook. The German comes with 3 discs. We have the 4K, the Blu-ray, and a bonus disc for Subway. So this came out. This I got yesterday. And yesterday, even if I wasn't biggest fan of the movie, I love the cover artwork, and it comes actually with the second Blu-ray disc too. The Monkey from
Osgood Perkins.
So we got the 4K. Put it out. The media book part for it, and the Blu-ray, and a third disc, which says actually King on screen. So I actually don't know if it's a separate movie or perhaps a bonus feature. Don't know. I got the Monkey from Osgood. Then let me just see where I go from here. Yeah, why not do this? Yes, Thomas Logan. Hopefully Amazon will fulfill our orders too, because I was expecting this coming from Amazon. Then they got, Rob, I got the usual mail, a delay in shipment. And then I got another email from another online retailer here in Germany. I totally forgot that I ordered it from them too. But they came through for me. I got the Lethal Weapon Collector's Edition.
Nice.
Which comes with a slip here.
That's beautiful. Did it come in a Warner Brothers box?
Unfortunately, this one not, Rob, but it survived. I think the UK one comes in the usual Warner Brothers, like you said, box. I know it's not the biggest one. That's why it's nice to have the photo shell with the original artwork. But we all talked about it.
Yeah,
But at least
I know.
They're embossed here, I know. But what can you do? The bad guys can make this a little bit sharper here. So it comes with the director's cut and the theatrical version on 4K and the Blu-ray, but I don't know if the Blu-ray comes from the new Transfer 2 or if it's an older one. And then, as always, we have the nice folder, which I like that they printed something on it. Normally they are just plain.
Yeah.
I like that they put a little bit something onto it. And let me just open this. So we get, just see here. Oh, we've got the poster. If we don't get it on the steelbook, at least we get it in poster form. And this one, and then two. And we got some lobby cards here. Or not lobby cards, just cards. More like behind the scenes here.
Oh.
They are printed on two sides. Okay. So, behind the scene stuff. And Rob, I believe you said you like the theatrical more. Is it correct, Rob?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
more?
I do like
Okay.
the theatrical version more of Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I do.
But it's at least nice that we've gotten both versions. That's always a big plus if the viewer can choose. So we have this one. Let me just see. This was just back. I cut that out, so put that in. Just put that aside here. And yes, actually, that was the Lethal Weapon box. Okay, just put it aside. Then I believe last week Max showed it already, but I don't know if he did get into the detail of it. Was totally thrilled to get, of course, my on second side, the nice guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You know how much I love Second Sight, Deets. I don't have mine because I ordered some stuff and they up through Pusher. And they send me, everything all at once, which is fine. Because did you order the coffee table?
Actually, no, Rob, because I have the Spanish Blu-ray. And
Right.
I think
Okay.
the coffee
Right.
table is not a 4K. It's just a Blu-ray.
It's just a Blu-ray. I only had it on DVD, so I had to order this.
Yeah. Correct, Rob. For you, it's obviously an upgrade. And perhaps if it comes down in a price, perhaps down the line as a Schnäppchen, because I loved the coffee table. This is the big book. I don't know if Max could show it. It's really big action. The movie is great. It's just unfair that we didn't get a sequel to it, but what can you do? And it's nice that Shane Black did go into a little bit of the details in a new interview about it. Came out with around the Angry Birds, so we got the 4K, the Blu-ray, and we have some cards here too. This was the outer slip, and
Yeah, those are great.
Character cards. The heart of the movie. Totally forgot that
Margaret Qualley, yeah.
Him.
Andy McDowell's daughter.
Yeah. David totally forgot about him. He's in the movie. So nice, guys. Really nice that I waited or skipped on the American ones as soon as we knew Second Sight will put it out. And
Yeah.
put the stuff back together, Rob. I have still some titles to show. You can go through perhaps super chats.
Okay, yeah, I'll do some super chats. I don't want to miss anybody's. We always appreciate that. Super chats and tips.
certainly.
There's some that we haven't. Professor Dang, I think it's Dang. Robin Company, if you were Denis Villeneuve, how would you tackle Bond for the new generation? As for myself, I don't want Bond to be thrown back into the 60s. I'm right there with you. James Bond has always been, in terms of his inception, in the 50s, he was a Cold War character. And then in the 60s, he was contemporary to when the time that the movies were coming out. And they've tried to reinvent him for every generation. I think that going back to the 60s like you is a mistake. I just showed a box set that were all set in the 60s. I mean, it doesn't... Unfortunately, the James Bond character, you could make a period piece, but it would never feel... I don't think it would be quote unquote real. I think what they need to do is how... And again, this is not an easy task. I think part of the problem with James Bond is he has not been reinvented for the modern age. You had 5 Daniel Craig movies. One of them, Casino Royale, was great, and it actually works sort of canonically as the first James Bond movie. People have done what order do you want to watch them in. And I think Casino Royale is a great place to start. But his other movies, and Quantum, I'm an apologist for, it takes place right afterwards, so it's kind of like a coda so you have to. But Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die, to me, are you fundamentally the character as an escapist hero, secret agent, turning him into an emo, emotional character to make him appeal, I don't think worked. And I think what you need to do is figure out how does a character like James Bond, look, we just saw the Mossad in the Israeli Mossad, their secret service, secret agents, what they did in Iran, and this isn't to be political, but, the phone calls, how they gathered people together to assassinate their top, that is some James Bond shit. That was amazing. And I think you need to lean in, kind of like, look, Denis Villeneuve, Sicario was one step away from being a James Bond movie. And I watched it the other night again. I love that film. It's humorless, and you do have the Emily Blunt character, but Benicio del Toro is essentially James Bond. And if you made, I said on X, I go, give me the Sicario James Bond movie, baby. And that, if you look at that template, and I'm not saying you need to deal with Juarez drug cartels or whatever. I'm not, then we get License to Kill again, which I don't want. But that movie's very immediate. That's why Denis Villeneuve could be great for a Bond film, but you need to make it contemporary, and you need to make the bad guys really bad, and you need to make James Bond unapologetically go after them and be a vicious motherfucker and sleep with women and drink great booze and drive great cars and travel around to all the best places and eliminate people. What do you think, Dietz?
So we have Denis. So we have, but only half of what we need, Rob. We still need that important casting.
They're talking about going and making James Bond in his 20s. That's a mistake. I don't want to watch James Bond in his 20s. I don't believe, in this day and age, if you made him contemporary, I don't believe there's anyone, I don't care who they are and what their intelligence training is, I do not believe anyone in their 20s can save the world. I don't buy it. You need somebody that's older and seasoned. I don't believe that there's anybody in this day and age who is in their 20s that will ever save the planet. They're not. There's no way. I just don't buy it, especially as a heroic figure. Look, I love Tom Holland. I love him as Spider-Man, but he was way too young to play Nathan Drake. In the Uncharted franchise, he was too young. I didn't buy him as Nathan Drake, and because of that, I think the franchise suffered. Not that he did the best he could in that role.
Even the Mark Wahlberg character as Sully was actually too young, to be Sully.
Too young. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I think that, for me, you need to see the Bond franchise needs to be like if it's Sicario, but fun.
Or like you said, Rob, it needs to be a trendsetter again. Like back in the day.
Yes, it needs to be. Yes, the Bond franchise was trend-setting in the 60s, and it was following trends in the 70s. In the 80s, it became generic, and it needs to go back to setting trends. I'm all about that. Which is tough to do these days, but okay. Let's see what Denny will be cooking. Let him cook. Yeah, let him cook. Major Chai Chai says that her crocheted second Death Star is almost finished, which is good to hear. We got some pictures. I'll show those on the next Robservations. Jim Props says, Rob, so you have the laser discs for the original Star Wars movies? Of course I do. They're right there. And the original, the Japanese versions that are the definitive color timings of those movies. Yes, I do. I haven't played them in 25 years, but I have them.
It was your most expensive laserdisc. Am I correct, Rob? The Japanese?
Yes.
Of Star Wars?
Yes. The Japanese Star Wars laserdiscs at the time, the three of them were the most expensive laserdiscs I bought. Because they were Japanese imports.
Mine was actually the Phantom Menace laserdisc, Rob. This was the most expensive laserdisc I bought.
Which I also have.
Because it was the only possibility back in the day to see the movie with a 5.1 track, actually.
Oh, and by the way,
on VHS.
That track is a banger.
Right.
That Phantom Menace.
No DDSMA track has even come close.
No.
To what I heard back from the laserdisc.
Unbelievable.
From the Phantom
Unbelievable. Bo Edmonds says, great video last night on Superman and Fantastic Four. Thank you. I thought that last night's show was, I thought, pretty great.
And Rob, I remember, considering the Phantom Menace laserdisc, it had the Japanese subtitles, but luckily they were in the black bars.
They were
even let the laser displayer go through the closed caption device, where you could not the closed caption. I think my to get rid of the video copy protecting, where you could put up black bars. It was more that you didn't have on the VHS tapes, where you sometimes had at the bottom and the top little bit problems, some tracking problems. And I could put up black bars over the Japanese.
I had a piece of plastic that I snapped on my screen that at the time that you could watch.
That's a good idea too, Rob.
Because the letterbox Japanese laserdiscs, the subtitling was in the black, so it wasn't on the screen,
nice.
which was amazing. It was amazing.
Like you said, the sound was awesome.
Yeah, 200 Watt Studio says Robert Wise was one of those directors going from film noir to science fiction to musicals, horror, suspense, and westerns. A story's a story, and those directors were able to do that.
Yeah.
Valerian Winter Drake says that Jurassic World Rebirth started filming in 2024, and I expected worse. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I hope people like it. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will like it. No Money
Rob,
G has been
considering the screen unseen. It's rarely that they put out a blockbuster as a screen unseen.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So they have a lot of faith in it. I mean, I think they might have been surprised by the. Look, I expected a little bit more. And I'm a fan of Gareth Edwards. I just thought the script, David Koepp's script. Look, I don't dislike David Koepp. He wrote Black Bag for Steven Soderbergh. I just thought it seemed like they decided we have to put a family in this movie, and I'm like, really? Do you? I don't know. So No Money G has been a member of this channel for 26 months. Thank you, No Money G. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, he sent a Burnettwork membership out. Maybe No Money G became the member because Tom Jr. Jackson sent a Burnettwork gift membership out. So there you go.
Nice.
And so there it is. Where do we go from here? The battle's done, and we kind of won.
We do the news.
The news, all right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good news. There's if you're a James Bond fan, the only good news is bad news. If you're a fan of Elliot Carver from Tomorrow Never Dies,
Never dies.
Which I am. I got to call up the information before I show these things because, okay, now the title of this show, here it comes because everyone knows it, everyone loves it. James Stewart in Harvey, which is the Giant Rabbit movie. Get this, dude, the 75th anniversary Blu-ray of Harvey. Universal Pictures will celebrate the 75th anniversary of Henry Koster's Oscar winner Harvey from 1950 with a 4K Blu-ray release, which is scheduled to arrive on the market August 19th. And James Stewart gives one of his finest performances in Harvey, the lighthearted film based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning play. Stewart stars as the good-natured Elwood P. Dowd, whose constant companion is Harvey, a 6-foot-tall rabbit that only he can see. And you know what? In today's America, maybe a lot of people are seeing giant 6-foot-tall rabbits. I don't know. We're so crazy, it wouldn't surprise me. Then we got Look at This. This is kind of a relevant movie, but I'm a Cheerleader is coming out in 4K from Lionsgate, and now this is going to be, I think this is exclusively an Amazon release. So it looks cool, but I'm a Cheerleader. There you go. Cool release. Amazon only, kind of like Air America. How come Lisa Stevenson hasn't been sending me these? Look, beggars can't be choosers, right? But it's coming out. And if you like the movie, Natasha Lyonne, hey, there you go. The Mermaids of Tiburon. It sounds like a Star Trek episode. It's coming out. Now, I don't know much about this. It is coming from VCI, the company that's giving us Dark Star, Psychotronica Collection Volume 3. It's the guaranteed highest quality sleaze. That's what it says right on this. And The Mermaids of Tiburon, the most fantastic undersea adventure ever filmed. And it says under the title, the nude version. So there you go. The Mermaids of Tiburon.
Almost looks, Rob, it would be like a double feature considering the cover artwork.
Yeah, I'll tell you it's a double feature. Bazoombas is what I'm saying. We're talking breasts, mammary glands. Come on, big. I won't do the American graffiti or the American, not the Officer and a Gentleman line. I'll refrain. I won't say that. Then we're getting a Blu-ray of Stargate. Like, okay, this is coming from a British company, the movie Stargate. Why are we getting the Blu-ray? Why? Why are we not getting? I mean, the label Final Cut Entertainment is preparing a Blu-ray of Stargate. Where's the 4K, yo? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I will buy this because it's not in 4K. I already have a Blu-ray of this. Maybe there's I don't know. I mean, it's coming out. Okay, whatever you say. Okay, then we got Arrow. Beloved Arrow. I am totally going to get this. Proof of the Man. Look at this. Proof of the Man. They're announcing, their September releases are looking good. This is coming from Arrow. And Proof of the Man, movie mogul Hikari Kadakawa changed the landscape of Japanese cinema for good when he introduced the concept of the blockbuster to the country with this gripping crime drama featuring an all-star cast. When mixed-race Johnny Hayward, Flower Traveling Band vocalist Joe Yamanaka, heads from his Harlem home, so it's a blaxploitation movie, and a Japanese crime thriller, to Tokyo, he becomes the victim of a brutal stabbing in the elevator of a plush hotel. This sounds... I'm in. The same night, Kyoko's son with her powerful politician husband is involved in a fatal hit-and-run accident and flees the country. Suspecting the incidents may be linked, our detective from the Game trilogy heads to New York to investigate Johnny's background. Here he is partnered with the local detective, played by George Kennedy Petroni, whose own links to Japan dredge up painful memories. And this is adapted from the best-selling novel. It's a new 4K restoration.
I was thinking it looks like George Candy, but I wasn't sure.
I'm telling you, Proof of the Man, that's a movie I want to see. I will get that. Now, okay, Arrow's getting some stuff. I get it from New Line. They got this from Warner Brothers. They're putting out Lost in Space. I hate this movie, dude. I'm not going to buy this. It's got a beautiful cover. It's just, are you going to buy this?
Rob, I already bought, the new Blu-ray version. And help me out. Is it even on a perhaps only a 4K? Only a 2K master?
A 2K upscale? I mean, it doesn't matter. This
probably
movie's,
not. Okay, it's earlier. Yeah.
This movie has a great cast. It's terrible. And Akiva Goldsman wrote it. The man who ruined Star Trek in Strange New Worlds ruined Lost in Space too. Go, Akiva. Jesus Christ.
But I have to say, Rob, I used the opening of Lost in Space a lot of time considering the 5.1 track,
Yeah, it's
There's
cool.
a lot of sipping around.
It's a space battle. It doesn't matter. Nothing is, I get it. Creepshow 2, which has an adaptation of the Stephen King short story, The Raft, in it. I like it. I'll get this.
Awesome.
It's not like the first one, but I'll get it. It's pretty cool. And then we've got Hellbender. Hellbender's coming out.
From the Addams family.
Yep, from the Addams family. Hellbender's a spellbinding folk horror and coming-of-age story boiling over with adolescent rage and wicked witchcraft. I'll get this. Got a lot of good stuff on it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Awesome.
It's great. Hellbender rocks. Get that. So then we've got The Good, the Bad, and the Weird coming out in 4K. They'd announced this. What's not to love? If you don't love it, I understand. But
that's the only one that surprised me, Rob, because now it's out in the UK, because it was already out in the States from Arrows. It's a little bit strange. That
that's what they're doing. They're doing that a lot. So like Narc is coming out in the UK. It wasn't available, and American Gigolo, same kind of thing. But they're putting it out in the UK. Yeah. So, and then we've got The Woods. The Woods, 2006. This is from Lucky McKee, who directed The Woman, followed up his critically acclaimed character study May with The Woods, a brooding folk horror spellbinder in the tradition of such classics as Carrie and Suspiria, New England, 1985. And then we've got Deadstream. Nice. A frighteningly funny comedy horror from real-life husband and wife team Vanessa and Joseph Winter. Deadstream is an outstanding satire on social media influencers and the found footage genre, combining elements of Patrick Brice and Mark Duplass's Creep and Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2. So there you go. And then
funny movie.
It is funny actually. Then we've got coming out now. We're moving on.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to this one.
Dangerous Animals, which you've seen 4K. Oh, you haven't seen it? I thought you saw this.
No, I haven't seen it, Rob. I heard about it. It's from the director who The Loved Ones.
Yeah, and I've heard it's a hoot. I haven't seen it either. I'm going to definitely get this, pick it up. And then we've got coming out, this is Brenda Lee's Rockin' Around, a change of pace. Mercury Studios has announced that it will release this Brenda Lee Rockin' Around Blu-ray. I would assume it's about Brenda Lee. So that's cool that we're getting that. If you are a music fan, pick that one up. We're getting a film. We're getting this, Nine Queens. This is coming out from Curzon, and this is Fabian Belinsky's 9 Queens from 2000. And, everything that Curzon puts out, you got to take a look at it. Set in Buenos Aires over the course of 24 hours, 9 Queens is a taut, highly seductive heist thriller in which nothing is as it seems and where no one can be trusted. Sounds good to me. Crime thriller. Coming out from Kino, still delving into the Paramount Library, The Lords of Discipline. I love this movie. I saw this movie like 3 times in the theater. David Keith is in that from coming off of Officer and a Gentleman. Really dig that. So, hey, what's not to love? I passed up the Laurel and Hardy films, although I probably shouldn't have. Then we have Take the Easy Ride. That is coming out on Blu-ray. This is coming from Screenbound Pictures in Britain. And this is from 1976. Ostensibly a serious film warning young women about the dangers of hitchhiking. This movie is now renowned as one of the greatest sexploitation films ever made in Britain. Bonus features include the sleazy 30-minute TV pilot Go Girl from the same director. I mean, you had me at hello on this movie. A warning, this movie is renowned as one of the greatest exploitation films ever. Since it's British, I would say don't hold your breath. It's British. You know how British people are.
It's
but it's the
before video
70s.
nasties.
So, yeah, it's before video nasties, and, I don't know if it's going to have the hot, sweaty, stuff we love, but, or if anyone's getting their cheeks wet, but still, take the easy ride. Yes, thank you. I will.
Take an easy ride.
Take an easy ride. Then we got 101 Films, bro, putting out Bad Lieutenant.
Ooh.
People were not happy about Kino Lorber's 4K Bad Lieutenant. Now we're getting British label. We love 101 Films here. They're putting this out in 4K. What is not to love? What is not to love about this? I mean,
is it a 4K, Rob? Is it
4K Blu-ray combo pack. Yes, it is.
Nice.
We all know, because everybody wants to watch Harvey Keitel masturbate, right? So here you can, and have Bad Lieutenant Abel Ferrara, and then we got Werewolf Woman. If you're not done doing those things with this movie, you can get to Werewolf Woman, coming out from Raro Video, which is a Kino Lorber, sub-label, which is great. And Werewolf Woman in Blu-ray. Danella, a woman troubled from a childhood trauma, begins to have delusions. She's a werewolf. She spends her nights seducing and killing men until she meets a kind man named Luca, who she falls in love with. How interesting. After killing men, she just falls in love. Her happiness is short-lived when she is raped and Luca is killed, reverting her back to her werewolf delusions. Daniela gets her revenge by killing her rapists and Luca's killer. So this is a rape revenge movie, and it is a woman who thinks she's a werewolf. What do you think? I've not seen this, Dietz. Do you think she actually turns into a werewolf at the end?
Perhaps. Cat in the bag, Rob. Cat in the bag.
I cat in the bag, but I'm going to say, if I were a betting man, I'm going to say that she does. Danella turns into. Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Different take on our R&R show.
And then look at this. The Germans are putting out Neverending Story 2 and 3. You can tell us about this.
Nice.
How do you pronounce the title?
Not Die unendliche Geschichte 2.
Well, there you go.
Nach Fantasia. Correct.
I'll take it.
The second and the third one. You're right, Rob. Both sequels.
And then, of course, it's already been released in 4K in one of the box sets, but Sense and Sensibility is coming out as it's a 30th anniversary. Can you believe that? Kate Winslet's been making movies for 30 years. That's amazing. Sense and Sensibility, this is a great movie. I love this movie. It's coming out in 4K. In a Violent Nature, in a Steelbook.
Yeah.
Very exciting. A Steelbook. What's not to love about that? And then Umbrella. Umbrella looks like they've changed their logo. Look at that on the bottom. Umbrella. It says Umbrella. I don't know if they've changed their logo or what they're doing. It's certainly. I like their logo. This is Resurrection of the Golden Wolf. Yasaka Matsuda stars as a seemingly run-of-the-mill corporate salaryman who leads double life as a vicious criminal by night. In a delicious scheme of payback, he seeks to dominate the corporation that employs him by day with no reservations about the violent and dastardly actions he must undertake to achieve this goal. That sounds great to me. I've only heard about this movie. I've never seen it. Can't wait. And then we have this. This is a different cover, which looks cool. Hey. Then we've got the movie Angst. Angst coming out in 4K. Kind of a culty title. So there you got that. You got Angst coming out in 4K. And then we have, a movie you're going to buy, right? The Reef. Look at that. It's a shark movie, don't you?
Perhaps combined with Angst, with fear.
There you go. Combine it up. And then we've got the ABCs of Death. There we go. All those short films, that anthology. Hey, what's not to love from Umbrella? They're cool packaging, which I love.
A lot of big known directors in this one.
Oh, yeah. Totally. And a lot of known directors. It's good. I definitely think this is worth getting. I would totally buy this. And then, of course, the New Extremity Collection #2 as we wait for Second Sight to do Martyrs. I don't know if this is as good as the other extremity collections from France, but we've got Fat Girl, In My Skin, 29 Palms. And there you go. And Doberman. Jan Koonen's Doberman, which is an amazing movie. I love Doberman.
I only know Doberman, Rob, from the...
Yeah, the other movies are, I mean, there's Catherine Brelet, you know, I understand she did Fat Girl and all that, but, you know, it's not as extreme as I wanted. Then, of course, we have Blood Orange from Hammer. A new title from Hammer coming out. I'm waiting to get my Quatermass discs from Hammer, but another, you know, following up on Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter and the Four-Sided Triangle and the Quatermass movies, we got this coming out from Hammer, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, what everybody has to buy, you know it, you want it. It's Manifest coming out on Blu-ray, the entire series. I mean, let me just tell you, for those of you who don't know Manifest, as when I watched this show, you know, it's following in the wake of Lost. This show is ridiculous gobbledygook that you have to love because the dedicated cast. I don't think there's ever been a television cast ever in the history of the medium that has put their heart and soul into such ridiculous material as the cast of Manifest. And by the way, saved from an early death by Netflix, brought back. I mean, that's how ridiculous this show is. Even the story of it in real life is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm getting Manifest. We live in beautiful times. Thank you very much for everybody who's making this happen. Oh my God, this show.
Who puts the show out on Blu-ray? Do we know?
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is putting this out. God bless Warner Brothers. I mean, they better send me a review copy because, you know, I'm me. Scoop, the Woody Allen movie Scoop, is coming out from Kino Lorber, which is good to have. I always like that. And then we have Grave of the Fireflies coming out in a steelbook, feel-good film of the year. If you haven't seen this, it'll just put a smile on your face. I'm kidding. Don't blame me when you watch it. Definitely something to pick up. Then, of course, The Mask. 30th anniversary of The Mask. We're getting it on steelbook in 4K. Pretty cool. Nice looking steelbook. And then we've got Deep Purple, made in Japan.
Finally, Rob. Finally. I must purchase, Rob.
I know.
History was made.
History was made. Rhino and Warner Music are putting this out. It's a super deluxe SCD. Oh, yeah, buddy. You know you want it. It's got a Blu-ray. It's got a CD. It has, actually, this has 5 CDs.
Yeah, I know.
5 CDs, and you're going to get it. I know, right? Already pre-ordered, and then finally, you know what?
Space trucking, Rob. We need to go space trucking.
I'm going to come back to the sales figures. I'm going to leave it to you. Go to the live chat because I need to take a bit of a waz.
No problem. So let me just go back to the starting point because I did the 2 for Max. Okay, here we have the starting point. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media. Bill Barclay, I watched the new How to Train Your Dragon. It was pretty good. Okay, nice. Captain Finity, Time Police. This show fills me with awe and wonder and no small amount of whimsy. Let me tell you, it's nice to know. Andy Haynes, I really enjoyed Ballerina. Shame it's not getting more love. Yeah, unfortunately. But everyone that I know and has seen it, I have not heard anything really bad. Everyone seems to like Ballerina. Tim Hens, How to Train Your Dragon was okay, just a little pointless if you watch the animated or original. Condo 007, is there going to be a Final Destination box set? Condo 007, I probably would wait because I'm pretty sure we will get another Final Destination. So even if they would put a box set out, probably there will be a 7th one later. So perhaps still wait with a box set. Professor Deng, is Clown in a Cornfield gory like Terrifier? No, at the moment, perhaps nothing is as gory as Terrifier, but it has some nice violent moments here and there, but it's not to the level of Terrifier. Condo 007, where's Diablo at? What platform? The new movie from Scott Adkins, I bought it at Fandango at home, so I bought it digitally. It's not out for regular streaming on a streaming service. You have to purchase this digitally. Andy Haynes. Dieter, I watched Last Breath. Pretty decent for a low-budget drama. Yeah, I still need to see that U-boat thriller. Thomas Logan. Dieter talking shit about Fuba again. Yeah, because it was. Yeah, still give it. I would give it a fresh tomato slightly because Arnold did put in some German wording here and there. But come on, Thomas. Admiral, Fuba is just cheap and cheesy entertainment. Sometimes I need that. Yeah, that certainly rings true too. John the Beagle Dad, Rob, I love your radio-like voice. Yeah, that's actually what brought me to.
Why, thank you very much.
I'm a voice guy, so I'm strange that I'm still here because I actually hate my voice, but I loved Rob's. Thomas Logan.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate that.
Thomas Logan, considering Fuba. It's awesome, and Arnie is having a blast. Dieter's just a spoiled brat. Yeah? What can I say, Thomas? What can I say? BCH. Wow, a second season of Fuba. Yeah, that was actually what I was thinking too. Wait, second season of Fuba? Okay. Didn't expect that. Derek Sorba. Got my Steelbook 007 collection. I watched all 6 of the films in the set as I was off this week, and they were all pretty in my old eyes. Okay, nice to know. This was from Captain Infinity, Time Police, Max Allan Collins, the man who schooled Rob on James Bond canon.
Oh my God.
Eucalyptus, Rob. Can I have the Emmanuel box set for research purposes? And I can tell you the answer, no.
No.
Eucalyptus, Dieter, are you going to buy Death Stranding 2, the new game from Hideo? Unfortunately, I still haven't gotten around to play through the first one. I started it, but it felt like I will never getting to the finish line with that one, and I don't know if you need to have played the first one to enjoy the second one. I have no idea. I will probably get it later when the price will probably drop, but I'm a fan of Hideo's video games, so probably will get it later. But at the moment, I've not played Death Stranding 2. This was the question for Max that I've already asked. Danzig, 1979. I have a lot of steelbooks. Most are sealed. I like having them, and also the option, if things get tight, the resale value is still there. I've stopped buying as many nowadays and opened the ones I buy. Kingslayer, is Quantum of Solace the shortest Bond movie? I think it's tied with the first one with Dr. No, but I could be wrong. Justin Toner, Krull is a guilty pleasure movie for me. It's not good, but I have fun with it. Yeah, totally looking forward to that too. BCH, I had the Krull board game. It was as uninteresting as the movie. Justin Toner, is Imprint region free? Certainly when it comes to 4K. And I think often their Blu-rays are region free too, but it's always a gamble, Justin. But if you have a region free player, it wouldn't matter. Rob Saint 007 says, great show, guys, thanks. And from last week, a few. LA The Final Metamorphosis says, Olivia Newton-John is the hardest woman ever. And then we have GA, Femme Fatale and Murder, love it. And Doug Hierophant says, In My Skin is great. That was probably that movie, Rob, that you showed from the set that will Umbrella will put out. I think that movie is in My Skin. Gordon Vidal, working on getting through the 3-hour plus cut of Kingdom of Heaven. Pretty awesome. Can't believe people don't like that movie. Me neither, because I think it's awesome. Tom Begeman, I go into every movie with no expectations. I just let the movie wash over me. I used to hype movies up so much and was always disappointed. Yeah, that can certainly happen. Indiana Jake, Rob, I'd like to see you hit that 70,000 K-sub soon. That's a nice number. Right now,
Yeah, I'd like to too.
But Rob will even want to get to that.
I want to get to 100 so I can get my plaque.
Damn plaque. Brian Knight, with Trump's tariffs, does this mean Dita is being replaced by the American-produced Max Allen Collins? Luckily, Rob doesn't have to pay tariffs for me to show up.
Yeah, not yet. That's coming.
No, let's go. Gordon Vidal. Anyone else looking forward to Liam Neeson in Naked Den? Actually, Gordon, not at all. I have seen now the trailer in the theater. You know how many people left at the scenes? No one. Actually, no one.
Oh.
Because there's a difference between funny and dumb. The stuff that I saw in that movie was more on the dumb side. Gordon Vidal. I just can't get into Dark City. Maybe I need to try again. Passed on the Arrow box set. Had to save money for the 007 Steelbook set and Vinegar Syndrome. Totally understandable. Handello, I can't believe Rob fired Deeds. No, I'm still here. It's a friendship contract. It's not a real contract.
Yeah, the thing is, I can't fire you. This show is our show. You could fire me.
I don't think so, Rob. It's still your channel. Albedal, I only love the postman when he leaves great physical media in my mailbox.
What about when he rings twice?
Oh, okay. Tim Hens, considering that was what was surprising to me, Rob, considering 28 years later, when I was in the theater and I thought, wait, black bars again, like in Sinners? Is this movie really 276 to 1? And I went to the IMDb. Yeah, it actually is 276 to 1, which always makes me think ahead or at home on the tele. Okay, 276 to 1. That's tough. That's tough. And Tim Hens says, considering it was shot with iPhones, in quotes, you can also tell by the movie's aspect ratio. And Albion says, yes, I saw the letterbox in the theater. I stretched them on my TV.
What?
Thin ice, Albion. Thin ice, Rob. That's the stuff that I had to read.
Dude, that's nightmarish. How does that even happen? Why does that person even watch this show?
Yeah.
Stretch. Oh my God.
Correct. And the last one, Rob. Marvel Star Wars fanatic. Where's Dita, everybody? He did a take off last week and watched Kingdom of Heaven the director's cut, which was finally out on.
Thank
Blu-ray.
God.
This was the live chat video.
That's it? That's all we got? Live chat. All right, that's a good live chat. I want to thank everybody. Let me just finish up with the charts that I didn't finish up with because I had to drain the main vein. So, top selling Blu-ray discs, all HD formats. This is everything. Number 1, A Working Man. Number 2, look at that, the Sean Connery 007 film collection. Captain America: Brave New World at number 3. What is that? What is that?
An animated show, Rob. I think.
Dr. Dan, season 1. I don't even know what that is. Wow.
But I could be wrong, but I think it's an animated.
Yeah, it sounds like it. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, is number 5. Number 6 is Yellowstone. Number 7 is Drop.
Nice.
How to Train Your Dragon triple feature. Those are great movies. Number 8, obviously, they're back in the charts because of the movie. In the Lost Lands. I can't believe that movie's getting sold, but here you go. It's number 9. And Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is number 10. Now we go to 4K only. Top selling 4K discs. Sean Connery is Ian Fleming's James Bond 007 is coming out from Warner MGM. A Working Man from Warner MGM, also number 2. Captain America, Brave New World, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Swordfish coming out from Arrow. The Return of the Living Dead coming out from Shout.
Probably the Steelbook, Rob.
The Steelbook, yeah. Kingdom of Heaven, Steelbook from 20th Century. That's good to see. Gladiator 2 from Paramount. Drop. And Lord of Illusions at number 10. Who would have thought Clive Barker would be in the top 10 with Lord of Illusions in this day and age? So that is
It's always nice to see, Rob, pretty diverse companies in the
Yeah,
content.
I really like seeing that. I mean, it shows that, at least in the 4K world, you've got a lot of people who are engaged by all these labels. So that's a very, very good thing.
Okay. I think we had some super chats that came in.
We do. We've got some people. Vegas Robocop has been a member for 51 months. Wow. Marco, a member for 29 months. That's amazing. 200 Watt Studio says, Proof of a Man sounds like the reverse of Black Rain with Michael Douglas. By the way, Kino Lorber, my friends,
Paramount
my lovers.
title.
Where's Black Rain on 4K? Come on, give me Black Rain. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. I want it on 4K. I love Black Rain. I even have an action figure from Black Rain. I'm not kidding. 200 Watt Studio says, Go Girl? Is she a goer? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Hey. You know what, 200 Watt Studio? I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Apocalypse Cow asks, you can only save 2 releases from this year, not the film, but the physical media releases. The unsaved ones won't be recreated. What 2 do you save so far? We're halfway through the year. Deets.
Ooh.
What of the physical
Halfway
media
through the
releases of
year.
this year, what do you save?
I think immediately, Rob, we have to go to the 007 Steelbook collection.
I agree with
As
you.
a save. 2.
I agree with you. You
Give
got,
us 2. 2 saves. 2 saves.
yeah, 2 saves. I would go. That's 6 movies. I would definitely take that 100%.
And you would take probably the Beyond that you already had.
You know,
in your-
okay, here's the thing. When I take the Beyond, I might, even though it hasn't come out yet, I mean, the Arrow Man with No Name, there's 2 of them there, so I violate it, but they're,
Okay.
you know,
Oh, okay.
those are great. The Beyond is great, but I don't know, you know, Castle
probably-
Grace Skull says, when would you like me to be on Let's Get Physical Media? How about right now?
Probably my second save, Rob. Probably, but just top of my head because I have it lying there because it's a nice from second side. Nice case, probably.
You know what? I'm going to send Castle Grace Skull a link. I'm going to send it because why not? I can do that.
Yeah.
It's our show. It doesn't matter. It's getting hot as hell in here, but I don't care. I'm going to send Castle Grace
Year
Skull.
2, Rob. Year 2.
Yeah.
Year 2.
So let's just see, because I brought on Brett Pierce last night. You know, why not?
Yeah.
I have to see if I've got Castle Grace
It was
Skull's email.
nice to hear, Rob, that they are working on a sequel for The Wretched.
Oh yeah. Castle Grace Skull email.
What? The Witch Next Door. The Witch Next Door. Actually.
Hello, Mr. Burnett. It's Castle Grayskull. Well, it is you. So I'm gonna reply to her. Use Chrome. Here's a link.
If possible.
We'll bring on Castle Grace Skull. I sent it to her. We'll see if she comes on. None of this. You have to go like get dressed up, put yourself on. You got to come on right now. You got to be somebody who's got the courage of your convictions. Castle Grayskull. You have the info. It's up to you. You click that little box and you can come on the show. But the first thing she has to say is she has to pretend I'm going to put her on and she has to do my introduction of Dieter. So if she comes on, she's got to introduce you and she has to say, you know, however she's going to say it. I don't know how she's going to say it. I don't want to tell her what to do. But if she comes on the show and I get the link, she's got to introduce you. That's the one thing I ask. As a matter of fact, if anybody comes on this show from now on, they have to introduce you. How would you introduce Dieter Bastian?
Correct.
We'll see. Come on, Castle Grayskull. You are on the spot. If you don't show up. So wait, what were your other releases?
I still have, Rob, I would have stuff to show, but I would like to keep...
What was your
for next
final
week.
release for the 2 movies that you were going to save of the year? We both think the Connory box set's the one to go with.
Yeah. Perhaps The Nice Guy, Rob, because it's just... I love the cover artwork. But it's just from the top of my head. It's always tough, you know, gun to your head. If we will get to the end of the year, then we will
Not as
get-
much of a gun to the head as Castle Grayskull has on her right now. Not as, I mean, she's probably like combing her hair and like, what am I going to do?
Well,
She says she needs 30 minutes. No, you don't. That's what baseball hats are for. Baseball caps, I need 30 minutes. You're asked to come on the show. When am I going to come on the show? At the end of the show after we've been on for 2 hours and 43 minutes? Come on, man.
Good. And Rob,
Someone
even
played out in the live chat, goes, 30 minutes? Are you Beyonce? That's funny.
It's quick. It's actually pretty quick.
Come on, Castle Grayskull. I didn't take a shower before I went on today. Shh. Sorry. Go ahead.
Even if I still would have stuff to show, Rob, I would like to keep those 5 back for next week because I don't know what I get this week, and it's always good to space.
Oh, I mean that was just a question from a viewer. By the way, the last super chat we did get was, when would you like to be on Let's Get Physical Media? That was from Castle Grayskull. I said, how about right now? We're still waiting. Clock is ticking. Just so you know, if you ask when you're going to be on the show, when we're live, there's no reason why we can't bring you on.
Just come and Rob will decide if you're presentable.
Oh, look at this.
But considering ourselves, Rob, everyone is presentable.
Major Chai, look at Castle Grayskull. Major Chai is now talking about her Death Star, and we're supposed to get Major Chai. No. Castle Grayskull. If she doesn't come on, this is a public shaming. And we love Castle Grayskull. She's delightful. Shame. I'll have Major Chai come on Robservations. But, Grace is powdering her nose. That's what people are saying. I just think it's funny. I'm just going to let the live chat go. If Castle Grayskull shows up, she shows up. Even if she just came on at the very last minute, you've got the clock is ticking. We'll see. You can come on. I'm going to do Robservations tonight, Major Chai, probably like at 8 my time. So, we'll see. Come on, Castle Grayskull. Can I get 30 minutes? Can you get 30 minutes? The world could end in 30 minutes. The internet can die. Right now, you got to jump in feet first. Make it happen. You got to flash dance this. Take your passion and make it happen. You can do it.
We will do it next week, but then probably be on time.
Next week? Don't let somebody off. Jim Wateri has become an imagination connoisseur. You know why? I'd like to believe he became an imagination connoisseur because of the Castle Grayskull drama that is unfolding right now in the chat. Will she or won't she jump on? Let's see. By the way, this does not mean she can't come on next week.
Totally forgot, Rob. He reminds me, Paul and Brunotto. Yeah, Paul. I'm getting to it. God damn it.
Oh.
He did write me a letter. Rob.
He did.
It. Yeah, Paul. I'm getting to it. Yeah. So, where is it? There's your link. Here it is. So, from Paul and
Castle Grayskull is bowing out. She's going next week. Now you have to come on. You can come on even in the dark. You've been on before. Or she was on a member call. She's lovely.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that.
Even though she's got a crush on Dave Parker. I mean, how can I?
Yeah, but I know. From Paul and Brunotto, Let's Get Physical Media. Summer movie releases 1975.
Okay, wait. Let me just stop for a second before you release. So here's the thing.
Okay.
So we won't give Castle Grayskull any more shit. She doesn't have to come on, but she has to come on next week, which means she's got to be ready before the show, before she goes on, because she's going to introduce Dieter. Okay. So we'll stop giving her shit because we love Castle Grayskull. I don't want to freak her out or anything like that. But I'm going to speak for her. She's got to be here next week at 11 o'clock Pacific time. I know she's in Montreal. I think she's 3 hours difference. So that'll be 2 in the afternoon. That means she can't sit there and tell us that, I decided to go to a movie today. No, Castle Grayskull. You're introducing Dieter next week. And if you're not, I'm just going to I'll run the show and I just won't be sitting here. And no, if no one introduces Dieter, how can the camera angle change to Dieter? It's just going to be nothing. No one will say a word.
The ball is in her court now.
The ball is in her court.
So, Paul and Brunotto. Let's Get Physical Media summer movie releases 1975. Howdy Rob, Dieter, and the live chat. Thought I'd mention some May 1975 movie releases, the first being French Connection 2, with Gene Hackman as Popeye Doyle as he continues his search for drug smuggler Alan Chamier, played by Fernando Rey. My dad took me, my sister, and brother to see it at the Vineland Drive-In through. I don't have strong memories of it. I do have a personal story of me meeting director John Frankenheimer that I'll share another time. Watching it years later and having a better understanding of the movie, it's pretty solid. Where's the 4K of part 1 and 2 anyway? And hopefully uncensored. The second release is The Return of the Pink Panther. Now this movie I remember seeing at the AMC Puente Hills. I absolutely love the Pink Panther movies, even though the last two were not very good. Peter Sellers, Christopher Plummer, Herbert Loom, Catherine Schell, and of course Bert Kwok as Clouseau's butler. What a laugh lot! What a laugh lot! Gut punch of a comedy, one of the best of that year in my opinion. And where's the 4K box set of all the Pink Panther movies? Now that would be a must-buy. Get on it, MGM and Amazon. French Connection 2 is available on DVD Blu-ray or to rent buy on Prime Video, and The Return of the Pink Panther is on DVD Blu-ray and streaming on MGM Pluto, Roku channel, and Tubi. Until next week, as I share more summer movie releases of 1975. Catch you later, Paul Allen Brunotto. Okay, this was from Paul.
That was nice.
Rob?
And by the way, I got to say that Bill Barkley in the chat says, change the title next week to Let's Get Grace Skull Media.
Let's get Grace introduced.
Yeah. I mean, she set herself up. I mean, the live chat will demand it. I can't back down now. She better be here. I'll send her a link. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, and Castle Grayskull's now asking if Dave Parker can be on. Just like a woman. Always wanting more. Once again, I'm in a position where I'm going to I'll have to let a woman down. I'm not going to satisfy her, which is not a position I usually am in, by the way. But, you know, lately it seems like that's the only position I've been in, which is too bad. But anyway, what can you do? Can Dave Parker be on too, please?
Unbelievable. Those demands of those people.
Why would you want anybody but the two of us and Max Allen Collins? I mean, are we not? Who needs more than us, dude? Who needs more than us? The answer is no one.
So, Rob, I think we can put it into a safe harbor. And I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. But apparently you can't listen to Castle Grayskull because she's not on the show right now, which is too bad because she could have signed off for us. But next week, tune in, ladies and gentlemen, because Castle Grayskull is going to be here for Let's Grayskull Physical Media. She's going to introduce Dieter. I'm telling you, it's going to be a monumental.
Knowledge of the new Masters of the Universe movie.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, she knows what's up. So Castle Grayskull, hey, it's coming on. She's coming on, and hopefully she will have all the time. She'll have all the time in the world. So we'll see. Now let's go back and see before we sign off. Let's see if we got tips and super chats.
Tips.
I'm looking. Yeah, there's lots of stuff in here. Damn it. Can Dave Parker be on too? That's what she said. She sent a tip in and said that, so I have to listen to her. Hang on. I don't know why my Stream Elements is like this, but it's annoying me. So here we go. Stubble McShave says, I would like to do a Bond movie. When it comes to tone, for the new Bond movie, I would go for Your Eyes Only. It had the right tone. It had the right action moments and the right twists in turns. Maybe avoid a teen girl hitting on him, and we'd be good to go.
Easy peasy.
Bo Edmonds already said said great video last night on Fantastic Four and Superman. Marco celebrates 29 months of membership. Vegas RoboCop has been a member for 51 months, so thank you for that. Apocalypse Cow says, "Oh, I already did that one." I think we're caught up. I think that's it. I think we're caught up with everyone.
Just at the ending, Rob, do you have figured out how you will do the White Devils watch?
Secular Monk says, no trivia? Happy birthday, Rob. No, I'm working on that. It's probably going to be a virtual for the members and stuff. I'll send it out. And we have to charge for it, because what the point would be, like, we have no money. Like, I'm going to do the release of this film. We have no money to do that, so I'll have to raise money. But instead of like a Kickstarter or something, I'll show the movie, and we'll charge, like, I don't know, $9.95 or something. But what we're going to do is have a virtual screening for everybody, and then Gabe will, after the movie's over, we're going to do a Q&A, and it would literally be the world premiere of the movie. So it would be the world premiere of White Devils, and that's what we're going to do. And right now, I'm looking into, to get as many people as I want to get is pricey. It's not, you can't just start it, and it has to be so somebody can just download the movie. So I'm working on all of that right now, but that's what we're going to probably do. And yeah, I mean, I'm distributing it. We are going to be distributing it through the same way Imagination Connoisseurs Unlimited made True Noir. We are going to distribute White Devils, and there'll be a theatrical component to it. There's a lot of things that we're thinking about how we're doing it. It's going to be really interesting because, you know, the problem is it's a micro-budget movie. And to get people to pay attention to micro-budget movies these days is difficult. And so what we want to do is we want to use White Devils as it's clearly not to everyone's taste. And but we want to do is encourage people to make, you know, less than $1 million to show you what you can do with less than $1 million. And we want to hopefully inspire, as a springboard. And what we want to do is convince people like the two brothers that made Talk to Me and Bring Her Back. You know, they started out making YouTube videos, and what we want to do is we want to use the White Devils as inspiration. Like, hopefully people say, well, I can do better than that. No, I'm kidding. Well, sort of.
That is inspiration, Rob. That is inspiration.
Yeah, but we'd like to see a new explosion of independent cinema. I've been talking about it on Robservations forever. It's like we have the technology, and you know, I know that there's a lot of kids that are using AI, and they'll be using AI to make what they think are their movies, and I don't want to discourage that kind of creativity, but it's a whole different thing when you're on set with actors and you're directing them, and you have to shoot them, and you have to light them, and you have to find locations, and I would like to, you know, rage against the dying of the light and hopefully inspire a new generation of filmmakers. So that's part of what we're doing by showing White Devils. So for a nominal fee, you know, I would love to show this to like 5,000 people at once. Because I don't know if that's possible. Like, can you do that? Like with Vimeo? I know, I'm looking into that, but it's going to be fascinating. I want to get as much leverage. I mean, you know, we got a fraction of my people who subscribe to the channel who are willing to support the film, and we're going to do a rollout. We've even talked about going on like what Kevin Smith used to do, go like on a 10-city tour and show White Devils and talk about it. You know, we would pre-sell tickets to see if, I mean, who knows if anybody would come. I don't know. You know, but there's a lot of creators, people like Eric July with the Ripaverse comics. He's done a very good job at selling direct to his audience. Like, we can do the same thing. And I would love to four-wall White Devils and maybe bring it to your town, you know, book it in your local theater, and we'll come there for a night of White Devils, and we'll show the movie and have a theater full of people, and Gabe and I will come afterwards, and we'll talk. We'll do, you know, when John Campea had his 1 million view or 100 million views party for his channel, we rented out a theater and had people come, and it was me and Chris and Aaron Cummings and John, and we got up on stage and just told stories. We didn't even have anything to show, and it was packed. So
yeah,
maybe it'd be fun to fly you in. I mean, no, that would be a thing. Like, why? Part of the reason that we would charge to show the film. You know, if you're good at something, never do it for free. But the idea would be to raise money and use that money to continue to do events, you know, to perpetuate it out. And one of those things to fly you out here would be great. And of course, you don't fly for less than business class.
Is that even possible, Rob, on Vimeo to do something like a watch party?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, it would have to be something where you need to be able to pay to gain access to it. I'm looking into all of that. Okay. I'm seeing how that would work. No. But you know, let's say 5,000 people came, right? And we charge $8 or $9.95 or whatever. Then you'd wind up with like $50,000. You'd have to take away. There's a payment that we owe on the movie, but then we would use that money, like Xevious, who did the poster, who passed away. We'd print out posters. You know, we would use that money to then book theaters. We could four-wall it in towns, and we could do. That would be the point. Would be to raise the money that we need to market the film. When we did Tango Shalom and we got it into the AMC in Times Square, it was a grassroots effort. We had to find the money and do that. With White Devils, you know, it's very difficult to convince people to buy a micro budget movie. You know, even to put it on Tubi or something, you have to go through brokers. So what we want to do is gin up some interest in the film. We had one review from.
You need to do the Taylor Swift way, Rob. Go directly to AMC.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, because I have you know what? It's me and Taylor Swift. Our audiences, they intertwine. I mean, they're the same. But that would be, look, if I could get the money to buy free enterprise, I would redo the film in 4K and put it out. I know you're not a fan, but I would do that and do the same.
But I would certainly buy it, Rob, again.
Well, there you go. I mean, you know, the new version will be better.
I only
anyway.
have it on DVD.
You've got to listen to the German dub one day, because that's what I hear is the really hilarious thing.
I need to do that, Rob. I need to do that. I promise you.
Maybe you'll like it more in your native language.
Perhaps. And sorry, Secular Monk, I totally forgot to put out trivia questions. So good for Rob.
Yeah, no trivia today, man. No trivia today. But I know it's hot. It's hot as hell in here too. Yeah. I want to thank everybody for generously supporting this channel via super chats and tips. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank our moderating staff. And you guys are great. Thank you for supporting this channel. And I especially want to thank Castle Grayskull, who has generously volunteered once again to come on this show and introduce Dieter Bastian. And probably Max Allen Collins. I want to especially thank Max Allen Collins for coming on, giving up some of his time and talking about Warner Archive titles. I want to thank, Kino Lorber for sending discs. I want to thank Lionsgate. I want to thank Warner Archive, and it's great the work that the boutique labels are doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, look at Castle Grayskull is begging Dave Parker to be on too. Like, everybody wants something, everybody wants some.
Everyone wants a piece of you.
I don't think Dave has ever been on this channel, has he? Do we have him on to talk about the Hills Run Red Blu-ray? I don't know.
I don't think we did that wrong.
Matchmaker, bring me a man. I'm just kidding. Castle Grayskull. Everyone wants something. Maybe if I could hook them up, could be a long-lasting relationship. All right, dude, I will let you go. And Marco asks, why the name White Devils? Well, you have to see the movie to figure that one out.
Yep.
Yes, you will.
That's neat.
So, hey. But on that note, I guess we can just leave, man. We can just go. We've said it all that needs to be said.
So with that, we'll see you next week, people.
See you next week.
And see what Jurassic World Rebirth will be doing.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, before you go, do you have a prediction? Why don't you give us a prediction? What's the prediction? What's Jurassic World going to make?
Do we have some... Jurassic World Rebirth. Help me, Rob. If I remember correctly, Jurassic World Rebirth will not play in the IMAX theaters. They will still be available for Formula One, correct?
I don't know, to be honest.
I don't think so. I think I heard something from our IMAX expert, Thomas Logan, that Jurassic World Rebirth will not be playing in the IMAX screen. So I say 100, Rob. Make
100 million. Oh, that's okay. That's good. That's
domestic.
good.
Domestic.
All right, domestic. That's good. All right. I'll accept that. I accept that as a as something. All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna bid farewell to you, sir.
See you next week.
All right. We are out. Yay.
Okay. Nice.
That was fun.
Nicely done, Rob.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Welcome
Totally.
back.